Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode, Microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order and can skip any you don't enjoy. Today, we're playing using the combat mechanics from a game called Into the Odd. It's our first time playing, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find Into the Odd on Free League Publishing. Build your own Into the Odd character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Belladonna, also known as Belle.
Well, hello there. My name is Belle, and I just have to say I'm so happy to see everyone today. I am a little bit odd, but, okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. I am a wooden puppet. I'm a little gnome puppet with straw-colored hair and brown twinkling marble eyes, and I'm wearing a poodle skirt. It's a very pretty bright sea foam green or blue, depending on how you look at it, with a white top and black trim. And I have a little yellow canary on my shoulder. Don't be disturbed if you don't see my mouth move or my eyes blink. It's totally normal. I am a puppet after all. And in this game, I have a 16 strength. I'm very strong for a wooden puppet. A 15 dexterity and 12 willpower. And I have 20 HP.
Awesome. And we are also joined by Hefty.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hefty, not Elvis. I'm a possum. An American possum, because there's many types of possums I am learning. Also, my strength is 9, my dexterity is 8, and my willpower is 17, and my HP is 19. I have an equipment of, I don't know, it's mechanically a pistol and has a d6 of damage, but it's a ukulele. And they gave me a smoke bomb. I don't know what to do with it. And I also have a possum hide armor of 1.
Wonderful. And finally, we have Newson 1000. Yep, Newson.
Hello there. So Newson is a sort of person who, if you saw them in the street or in a bar, you probably wouldn't notice them. Your eyes would slide across them and you'd look away because they're very nondescript. They're sort of average height, average build. It's hard to even tell their gender from looking at them. And they wear ordinary workwear clothes that don't stand out. But if you looked a little closer, you'd notice that their skin is a sort of waxy, off-white colour. And under their hat, they don't have any hair. And if you looked even closer, you might realise that Newson is an artificial being, not organically grown. They were constructed. In this game, Newson has a strength of 17, a dexterity of 16, and a willpower of only 11, and 22 hit points. They also are equipped with a halberd, although in Newson's case, they can change some parts of their body sometimes. And the halberd actually is one of their arms, turns into a big blade. A bit like the Terminator movies, if you've seen those. And also on this adventure, Newson is likely to be accompanied by their landlady, Mrs. Platchett, who is a lovely, kind woman who looks after everyone in her boarding house and makes sure they're all happy. But she does have a tendency to complain sometimes. She wears bright coloured clothes, normally big full skirts and a shawl, and she's always carrying her indeterminate breed lapdog, Augustus von Battenberg, who she calls Gus affectionately.
Wonderful. Those are our players for today. I am your GM, and we will kick this off. You are all in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. The guild is a large building with a bar, a sitting area with wooden tables and chairs, and a wall with a corkboard covered in job flyers. So what are you all doing in the guild hall? Where are you situated at?
Newson is sitting in their usual position in the corner where it's slightly shadowy so that they don't attract too much attention, but observing very keenly what's going on and watching to see if anything interesting happens or if there are any interesting people that he might engage with.
Belle is all the way at the other side of the hall, looking directly at Newson, just elbows on the table, hands under chin. Just, she doesn't really have any expression because she's got a puppet face, but she's very clearly intrigued by the other, lack of a better term, artificial being in the room.
And Hefty?
And Hefty's trying to learn the B7 chord.
I'm very proud of Hefty for that.
Has that just been playing like nonstop for the last couple minutes? Just B7?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's several chords I'm trying to learn, and most of the time I'm not entertaining right now. I'm practicing.
Wonderful. Well, through the doors of the guild hall, it slowly opens, and a traveler in white robes and cracked sandals basically just strolls in. There's no sound, you notice. Like, the door creaks when they walk in, but you don't hear any footsteps, no slapping of the sandals, no movement from the robes that they're wearing. Their face is weathered. They look older, but just like a generic person. Nothing unusual about their face. The only thing really unusual is that there's no sound, including when they open their mouth. And you can see that they're trying to talk to you, but nothing comes out. What do you do?
Excuse me, sir. Do you need some help? Perhaps. Oh, here. And Belle will go up and will rickety joints hand like a pen to them and then offer their own arm to be written upon. And the canary is just kind of sitting on top of the puppet's head, chirping happily. And Belle says, "Here, you can use me to write on if you'd like."
The traveler will take the pen. It will write the words, "Find the relic, free me." And then onto the table, it will drop a map, a carved charm of saltstone, and a rather large satchel of coin. And then it will turn around and it will float away. Well, not float. It will walk, but it's no sound. So it basically sounds like it's floating. And just walks out the door.
What was that thing other than the map and the coins?
There's map, a carved charm of saltstone, which is just a form of stone. It's just circular, kind of round, with maybe some light etchings in it. It's not words, but it's just decorative etching. Looks like it could be worn on a necklace.
Is there somebody here in the guild hall who can help me read this? My eyesight isn't very good.
Well, Newson is never one to turn down the opportunity to help, so Newson gets up and goes over to Belle. What appears to be the problem?
Well, I'm not sure if you just saw, but this strange traveler came in, couldn't speak, but they did write, "Find the relic, free me," on my arm, and Belle will show her arm. And he left a map, I think, from all the squiggles I can see, and some sand thing with something on it. I don't know. What does it look like to you? It seems like someone needs our help, obviously, but I can't even begin how to find them.
Well, in my experience, maps are very helpful in finding things, but I am not expert at reading them. I did use a map previously with my friend Hefty over there, and we found the place we were looking for using that map. Maybe Hefty will be able to help us with this one. Hefty?
Hefty is distracted from learning a D chord and comes over.
Hi.
You're an animal too. I mean, you're an animal.
Yes, I am a possum. Hello.
I have a canary. Sorry, I got distracted. Newson said that you could help us read this map and help find some relic.
Oh, yeah, I can read. Not sure how I read or talk. You'd have to listen to the April Fool's episode 2025 to find out what happened to me. Yeah, I look at the map.
All right, so the map points north, basically, to a place called the Fomui Dunes. It was in a previous episode, so if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. But buried deep in the Fomui Dunes it's drawn on the map. It looks like a mesa, which is basically a tall mountain with a flat top. And it's scratched onto it is the words, the Hollow Mesa. There is a small town also notated on it, probably about a half mile away from the mesa. There's no real name for it. It just says town. And it has that's basically it. Just the Hollow Mesa and a bunch of sand and then a town called Town.
I relay this information to my friends.
Look, it's a town.
Yes, that's a very sensible name for a town. But what is this amulet? Newson wants to pick up the stone item and examine it. Is there anything about it that's familiar to them?
Mm-hmm.
Or...
When you pick it up, so according to the rules of Into the Odd, if you pick up an arcana, you get a general sense of what it is. You can sense its nature, but not its specific power. And then you can pass a will save to understand its power before using it. But if you do a will save and you don't pass the will save, it will go ahead and activate. Just super fun. So you sense the nature is, obviously it's an arcana, so it's a magical item. And you sense something about voices, I'll just say. So do you want to try a will save to see what it is, to identify it?
No.
Okay.
Newson will pass the stone amulet to Hefty. Hefty,
Okay.
I sense this has something to do with voices, and you are a wonderful singer. Maybe you can work out what it's for.
From a meta stance, it's very good to have Hefty identify stuff because I would only fail a will save on an 18, 19, or 20 on the D20.
Oh, wow.
So I can identify your items for you, apparently.
That's much better than Belle and Newson.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to roll this D20. It was a 6, so that's a pass.
That is a pass.
What do I learn?
You learn this is there it is. It is called the Saltstone Charm. A very clever name. It can be used once per day, I believe, to speak a single sentence clearly, even in zones where no sound is possible. And that's the Saltstone Charm. So you have the map, you have the Saltstone Charm, and you have a large satchel of coin. And the words, find the relic, free me.
You can use this saltstone charm to speak one sentence per day clearly, even when no speaking is possible.
Did I get that right?
Yes, in zones where no sound is possible. But yes, not just speaking, but perfect.
That's intriguing.
I wonder why
what
the
it really is
traveler
for.
didn't use it then.
That is an excellent point that the GM did not consider. Thank you for pointing that out.
You know, he was probably just being very considerate so that we could have a use for it. Especially since it's only used once a day, we'll probably need it wherever we're going in this desert.
Yes.
Yeah, you would want to hand someone an expended magic item. That makes sense.
That's just rude.
Shall we head to this town?
I suppose so. I've never gone to the desert before.
Nor have I. I'm very keen to see it. I've been to the sea.
We should pack water and food.
Newsy! I slap my little possum paw on the bar counter and I say, more rations! Last time she gave me egg salad sandwich, it was great. Lots of mayonnaise, perfect for hot travel.
Yes, we are going to the desert. Do you have suitable supplies for such a trip?
Like magic, suitable desert supplies will appear for you. Plenty of water with some salt packets because electrolytes are important in the heat. there will be at least one egg salad sandwich for you. But there will also be rations for people that don't like egg salad sandwiches that have been melted by the desert heat. Would you like to request any non-food related supplies? Anything like Indiana Jones type affair?
Probably a big sun hat of some sort so that
Perfect.
Belle's canary stays safe from the sun.
There will be a sun hat with a cutout in the front of it so the canary can still see out of it, but is protected from the
perfect.
sun.
Yay.
Is it like Woodstock and Snoopy?
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds great. Yes, always. Although I will say that the canary is always in contact with the puppet, because like the canary doesn't even seem to want to fly much. They just walk all over Belle.
Newson already has a fedora style hat, so and they don't tend to suffer from sunburn, so they think they're well equipped enough.
Perfect.
Do possums sunburn?
They're very
Actually,
furry,
I've
aren't they?
never thought to Google.
Yes, it actually does get sunburn. Oh, and we glow under ultraviolet light.
Ooh.
I did
Weird.
know that.
Biofluorescently pink.
We're big
Would
on
Hefty
learning in
like-
this podcast.
Yeah. Would Hefty like also a sun hat?
I guess so. I guess I need it. Yeah, possum wearing a hat.
Adorable. Wonderful.
It's kind of a big Stetson I'm imagining that Hefty is wearing.
That's so cute. So that your ears can sit on the outside flaps of it. You don't have to
Yeah.
cut holes for your ears because your ear tips will burn. And you are a nocturnal animal. Okay, so it will take you a couple of days to travel to the town called Town. If there's anything you'd like to collect before you leave Nicomoy, let me know. Otherwise, we will continue our journey.
Will we need some form of transport? I've been on a boat on the sea with you, Hefty, which was an interesting experience. You both have quite, I hope I'm not being impolite by suggesting this, short legs. It may take us some time to get there on foot.
We could hire a carriage, maybe?
Yes, we have all this coin, and I presume that's the intent of giving it to us.
Oh, it's not it. We're not keeping. Can we keep one shiny coin?
There's
expect
quite a
there
lot
will
of
be
coin
some
in
left
the
at the
satchel.
end.
There should be
Okay.
some.
Great.
Yes, let us hire a carriage to take us to town.
Also, actually, you saying Indiana Jones has sparked players' thing. I think we should at least have like one like big bag and probably a thing of rope, just in case.
This is a good plan. You will have a giant backpack satchel type thing and a large coil of rope. And if you would like to hire a carriage, we can get one that's covered. Perhaps with some sturdy... I don't know if you'll find camels in Nicomoy, but you can at least find horses. Excellent. And then we will take off. So the journey takes you a couple of days. It's pretty uneventful. You do see large sand dunes as you start to come into the desert, but there's a pretty sturdy road going towards town. And when you arrive, we are now in a town called Town. It's just a generic dusty desert town. There's really only a few homes, and then one tavern/general store that has a sign on it that says tavern/general store.
They're not very creative here, are they?
I quite like it. It makes things easy to understand. Sometimes I find things quite confusing.
That's fair. But then what about the houses? Are they just house 1, house 2? Or perhaps house A and house B? Or what about house cat and house dog?
One of those systems is easier to deliver mail to.
It's probably the cat and dog one. I was thinking that too.
Perfect. There's not many people in this town. You don't see anyone really strolling around. It's just your generic desert town, a la Tremors or any Wild West movie, really. But you do see there is some movement within the tavern/general store. Otherwise, you see a lot more sand, and then down in the distance, the tip of what might be the Hollow Mesa.
Shall we see if someone in the tavern/general store can tell us about the Hollow Mesa before we venture there? It seems that's our destination, but we don't know anything about it.
Yes, I think some local history would be good to know.
Perfect.
Very well.
So you enter the tavern/general store. It is what it sounds like. There are tables set out with chairs next to a bar, and then on the other side of it are racks and rows full of canned foods and general supplies that anybody in a desert town might want. It's a little sparing, but there's still stuff on the shelves. And then behind the bar is a cowboy figure. He has a Stetson on, very close to what Hefty is wearing. He's got his overalls. He's covered in the desert dust, per usual. He has kind of longish hair and then wrinkled face. And he's fruitlessly wiping down the bar with a rag because that desert dust is going nowhere. And he'll look up and give you a smile and say, "Howdy, folks. Well, welcome to town. I'm Hobson Thomas. How can I help you?"
Newson will stride over towards him and say, "Hello, Hobson. We are new to town, and we have heard tell of the Hollow Mesa nearby. Can you tell us anything about it?"
"Oh, the Hollow Mesa, yeah. That's where that monastery is up there. There's a whole bunch of monks that live up in the monastery. I think it's called the Monastery of the Ninth Silence, or something weird like that. They are some weird little fellows up there. They're what is their thing? They're dedicated to something with their senses. They take away their senses so that they can get divine stillness. They really don't like sound. It's very strange. We're not allowed up there, but they come down for supplies pretty regularly. Though now that I think about it, I haven't really seen them in a while. That's a little odd. So maybe you're supposed to go up there and see what's happening with them. I don't know.
I like the idea of stillness.
Oh,
True. But do these monks happen to wear white robes?
Oh, yeah, usually. I mean, anything out here in the desert isn't very white because, it's the desert and it stains everything this ugly tan color. And he points at his beautiful overalls. He said, "This is actually a totally different color." Anyways. Yeah, the monks up there, they try to wear white and they usually keep them pretty clean. Mm-hmm. Did you meet one of them? Is that why you're asking?
Sort of, yes.
We did meet a strange fellow, as you describe.
That is very odd. They don't tend to leave their monastery very much. They're very dedicated to their, what is the word? Nirvana. They don't go very often, so that's unusual that you saw him.
Well, thank you very much, Hobson. It does seem that they've, or at least one of them has asked for our help, so I think perhaps you're right. We should go to the Hollow Mesa and see if we can find this monastery.
Yeah, I mean, if you do and anything's wrong, you come down and you tell us, and we don't really interact with them very often, but we do want to make sure that they're all right. It's important in a town like town, you got to be good neighbors.
So there hasn't been anything odd happening in town?
Nothing in town. Last time that I talked to them, though, they did say that they'd found some strange new relic or something like that. I forget what they call it. I don't know. But that was the last time that I talked to them, and they seemed real excited about it. So maybe it has something to do with that. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're all right when you get up there and they're just taking an extra long fasting. I don't know.
Well, if there's anything you need us to take to them, you can just pass it on over because we're headed that way anyway.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to take up their usual supply of food, I've got it stored here waiting for them.
Yeah, so of course we can do that.
Y'all got a carriage? Because it's a good bit of, there's 20 monks up there, so it's a good bit of food. Yeah. Oh, great.
Yes, we have a carriage waiting outside. We can load that up.
Wonderful. Hobson will help you load up the bunch of cans, some water jugs, and some smaller snacks. It's very plain food, not very exciting. Bread, rice, water, that type of thing. Things you would assume monks would eat. And he'll say, well, thank you very much for this. This is a big help for me. I'm sure they'd appreciate not having to come down here and get it themselves. So, yeah, I wish y'all luck. Be careful. It's a real tall mesa. I've never been up there myself, but it's pretty tall. So, good luck.
Thank you.
Is the monastery on top of the mesa? Or is it inside the mesa?
It's not on top of it. It's carved into it. That's why we call it the Hollow Mesa, because they basically carved out the inside of it. But it is up it, so you have to like climb a set of basically they've carved stones into the side, not stones, stairs. I forgot my words. They carved stairs into the side of it, and then they walk up those stairs, and then the entrance is carved into the mesa itself. So it's basically like a cave, but pretty.
That sounds interesting.
See it from the outside of the mesa. You can see it when you walk up to it. It's only about maybe a half mile. Might take you a half hour. Outside of town, Hobson will not shut up if you keep asking him questions. He will continue to tell you everything you've ever wanted to know.
Well, Newson will go and start loading up the supplies that Hobson shows them into the carriage, and get ready to head off out of town towards the mesa.
Excellent. Is everybody else ready to head towards the mesa?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, he will wave goodbye to you in a jolly country fashion as you head down the road towards the mesa. So you leave the town. It is about a half mile away from you, but it's so tall that you can see it from here. I mean, the desert's so flat, you can see everything. So it's the area around it is like a sun-bleached ocean of bone-dry grass and red broken stones, and then giant sand dunes. It's very pretty. You can tell I've been inspired by Arizona. The wind carves low moans through narrow gullies, and distant dust devils dance like spirits avoiding your gaze. On the horizon, perched like a forgotten fossil, sits the tall mesa housing the monastery of the Ninth Silence. It's an angular silhouette carved directly into the mountainside, utterly still against the shifting light. So if you get up to the mesa, you can see that there is a tiny, steep path of stone steps carved into the side of the mesa, leading all the way up to the monastery. Would you like to step on the path and begin your adventure?
This place is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. It's so different from Nikamui and from the sea, where I have been before. I'm very glad I came here with the two of you.
Are you still glad after we load you up with a bunch of stuff to carry?
Well, it does make sense for me to carry the equipment because you are both quite small. And I have this backpack that Belle was sensible enough to procure before we left.
Well, thank you very much for carrying everything.
I'm always eager to be of help.
It is quite a lot of stuff. Would you like to do a strength save to make sure that you can hold all of it and it doesn't come tumbling down on you?
Certainly. So my strength is 17. Mm-hmm. So let me roll.
Anything 17 or below.
I rolled a 4, so yes.
Perfect.
Nice.
Newson is very, he doesn't look very strong, but he is obviously, and just hefts it all up onto his back and adjust it maybe a little bit. And then are you first up the stairs, or are Hefty and Belle going to go first?
Oh, Belle will definitely go first.
Okay. Belle steps on the stair. Uh-huh.
Hefty's bringing up the rear, and she goes,
Wow, all the groceries in one trip.
Very impressive. When
Just
you
be
step
careful
on
not
that,
to roll your ankle.
there's a very steep walk up there. When you step on that first step, suddenly there are no sounds, no birds, no wind, only the strange feeling that something here remembers you. So as we go up the steps, I do want all of you to give me maybe a dex save to make sure that you get it up these steps without incident.
And a question about Hefty's ukulele. Does it make any sound?
It does. Yes.
Oh.
It does make sound.
Whoa.
So this is not a zone of silence, but there are no sounds happening outside. So if you guys, your footsteps make sound, the rustling of the equipment on Newson's back, your ukulele, all make sound. And when you talk, you can hear each other, but there's no outside sound.
Newson rolled a 9, I rolled a 9 for Newson. Newson didn't do any rolling. So I've passed that check.
Awesome.
Belle rolled a 14 and her dex is a 15, so
Woohoo! Just
barely
barely.
got that.
That's awesome.
A natural 20 is a critical failure, right?
Oh God.
Oh
yes.
no.
Okay. Hefty's in the back, and as you're going up the stairs, perhaps a little gust of wind that you can't hear takes your footing a little off guard, and you start to slip down those stairs towards the edge. Is anybody going to do anything? Does anyone notice?
I cry out.
Belle is rather small and light and nimble, given that she is a puppet. And she does have a strength of 16. So she will rush over and try and grab Hefty's hand and pull her back up onto the stairs.
Okay, give me a strength save to see if you can pull her up.
A 5.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Awesome. You successfully pull Hefty back up onto the stairs. And Hefty, you get your feet back under you. And disaster has been averted, thankfully.
Thank you, Belle.
Of course. And you can see that when Belle was like pulling you up, the canary even seemed to be like flapping their wings very rapidly as they're like trying to pull you up.
Beautiful.
Of course. It is no problem.
I look down. It's like the cliffs of insanity behind me, and I cling to the rock.
Yes, Hefty will probably cling to the rock the whole way up, shuffling along the steps, I imagine, digging their tiny opossum claws into the sand. Perfect. You successfully make it. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, we have rope. Hefty, should we tie all of us together so that none of us fall off anymore?
That is a very good idea.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I definitely said that in Belle's voice.
Perfect.
Cool. So we'll tie a rope around each of our waists, and that way we can stick together. And, we can always cut it off or take it off if we need to.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So
Sounds
if one
good.
of you falls, you all fall. Awesome. That's definitely not going to happen.
If Newson falls, we all fall.
Yes.
That's true. Yes.
Very fair. All right. Well, you successfully make it up the stairs without incident beyond that one scary moment. That probably took a couple years off of Hefty's life.
Oh, no, I only have 2.
Oh, no.
And now we enter the monastery. So the entrance to the monastery it's beautiful. It's carved redstone right into the mesa itself. It's very grand. It's taller than it should be for humans, but it's stunning. And the entrance itself is just a dark hallway entrance directly into the hollow mesa itself. Do you step inside?
So everyone wait here just a moment, and Belle will sit down against a rock so that, she's supported. And then the canary will take off and actually like come off of the puppet for the first time. And as soon as you see the canary take flight, the puppet just kind of slumps as though it's lost life. The canary lets out a tweet, 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 and then goes down into the dark hallway. What
Ooh.
does it see?
Okay.
What does she see?
She sees entering the hallway. It goes about 20 feet with tall pillars reaching the ceiling on either side. And you hear absolutely nothing. It's complete silence, not a whisper, not shuffling feet, nothing. You do see some words carved into the side of the entrance hallway, but obviously you said you can't read
Right.
very well, so you
Yep.
don't know what they say. But there's no ill effects from the air. Nothing smells weird. There's obviously some desert sand and dust on the floor. You don't see any recent footsteps on it, but otherwise it's completely still and quiet.
Okay. Canary will fly back and take her place back in the little sun hat on the puppet's head. And the puppet suddenly just regains life, is sitting tall again, and turns to the party and says, "There doesn't seem to be anything dangerous in there, although there is something scribbled on the wall, and I just couldn't quite read it. But it's an empty hall and completely silent."
Well, thank you for looking ahead. That makes me feel more comfortable about going into this dark place.
Well, that was my job before becoming an adventurer.
So you have experience. That's good to know. Well, do you want to lead the way?
Of course, I'm happy to lead the way. And Belle gets up and just starts walking down. You're going to have to tell me what that thing on the entrance says, though.
I don't know whether it's because you mentioned Indiana Jones earlier, but I'm imagining Petra, like from Last Crusade. Is that
Exactly.
sort of vibe we're getting?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the same. I think I'm thinking of Petra, that it's carved into the hillside or the cliffside, and it's a beautiful ancient tomb looking thing. Yeah, it's exactly that, but in a giant mesa instead.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
That's
Newson
all.
will follow Belle into the dark passage.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hefty, are you joining?
Yes.
Awesome. Yep, you see the same thing that Belle saw. It's about a 20-foot long hallway with one entrance, tall pillars on either side. And again, there's no sound except for the sound that you guys make yourselves. So everything is completely silent. And then you do see carved into the wall some written words if you'd like to read them.
And Newson will definitely like to read them.
Yeah. So these appear to be the rules of the monastery. So it says, "Let thy voice be as a whisper upon the wind. Speak with purpose, lest silence rebuke thee." The second one says, "Lift not thy hand in fury, for wrath is the weapon of the undisciplined." And I can send these to you guys if you want.
Oh, I'm writing it down. 1, whisper. 2, no hitting.
Yes.
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and speak purposefully. I think that was
Yes.
the other one.
Yep.
Then claim not the possessions of another. The unearned weight corrupts the soul. And finally, speak no words that unravel trust. Idle tongues weave ruin.
So we're adding don't steal and don't lie to the list of things.
I wrote down.
I was like, how convoluted can I make these? Perfect.
They make it sound so like weighty, though. You know, I do appreciate that. Instead of saying like no lying, it's like don't say anything that'll make your trust be unraveled. It's like, oh, I guess that's pretty serious.
Yeah, it tells us about the sort of person who wrote the rules and what they think of their power.
So Newson will read out the commandments for Belle's benefit in a quiet voice.
Thank you. We don't actually have to whisper during the podcast because that would make for a really poor podcast. But just tell me if you raise your voice above like a normal, above your inside voice. Just let me know. Try to get clues. All right.
I will say Hefty is
These-
officially not practicing her ukulele.
I think Belle's just going to be quiet. She tends to ramble a little bit and has just a piercing tone in general. So
Beautiful.
probably just going to stay quiet.
These seem like very reasonable instructions. I'm sure we can comply with these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have the one entrance headed into the rest of the monastery. Would you like to go through it and continue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the hallway, once you go through it, opens up into a cavernous space. It's lit only by narrow shafts of sun slicing through high vents in the stone. What you see before you are dozens of robed statues, and by dozens, I mean about a dozen, kneeling in absolute silence and stillness. They're spaced in rows. They have the white robes on that you guys noted and know that the monks are wearing, but they are draped in layers of pale red ash. And as you step forward, a breeze snakes through the vent, creating a soft, unearthly flute song. The air is dry. It's too dry. And every breath that you takes feels thinner than the last. So it feels a little like altitude sickness, but you shouldn't feel that altitude because you already have been up here. So it's a little strange that the air is thinner in here.
Well, Newson is going to put down all the supplies that they're carrying because this seems like it's far enough in and there's no point in just lugging them all the way.
Okay.
Can I ask some questions about the people that are? You said there's a dozen people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not dead, right?
They're covered in their robes, so it's hard to see, but they have obviously not moved in a while since they're covered in this ash.
I'm a little concerned they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Or statuified or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I politely inquire if one is dead? I think I will rotate a bit to see if I can see one's face.
Okay. They are kneeling and their faces are pointed towards the ground. But if you do want to try to peek up under one's hood, you can.
Ooh, no, that's too close. No. They're all kneeling in like lines. There's no one. Mm-hmm. Okay, well then the one at the end of the row that is closest to the entrance to the room, I'm going to poke.
You're going to poke it? Okay.
Yeah.
It crumbles into ash.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Look what
it
you've
leaves
done.
behind the robe, but the body itself crumbles into ash.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
It is very dry in here indeed.
Ah.
Perhaps we should all have a drink of water.
Mm-hmm. With extra electrolytes, please.
Super glad I didn't crawl under its face.
Yes.
Yeah, good call. Oh my gosh, you could have had people all over you.
You will see that the floor is mostly covered in dust. There's some clean spots randomly, but it looks like desert dust. It's not the same ash that this monk supposedly collapsed into.
So is the ash that has like settled on these quote unquote statues coming from the same vents or the same windows that are letting in light?
It's more red colored than
the
desert dust that you've been seeing. Desert dust is a little more golden sand color. This is more of a red ash color.
And is there anything else in the room? They're all kneeling. Are they facing one way? There's nothing like it that they're sort of looking towards at the end of the room or anything like that?
No, it's a pretty plain room. There's the same pillars that you saw in the hallway. There is an exit on the opposite side of the room, kind of tucked into a corner. It's not the way that they're facing directly. They're just kind of kneeling in one direction, all in the same direction, in rows of 4 each. So there's 12 of them, so math is hard. 3 rows?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, 3 rows of 4.
Newson is going to pick up the robe from the collapsed monk and shake it out, and then fold it up and take it with them.
Okay. You have a robe. The red ash just settles onto the pile of ash from the body.
Belle is going to sit down again, and the canary's going to go and do a loop around, just trying to see like what this looks like from the top, and she wants to see what's out the windows as well.
Okay.
I guess I just really want to make sure that there isn't anything where it's like, oh, we're in like a different environment than the one we left.
No, if you look out the windows, you see the same desert. You see town in the distance. You can't see the steps, obviously, because they're below you. But it does look like you are in the same location. And if you circle above the monks, you just see that they are in the same pattern, 3 rows of 4. And You do see some patches on the floor that are clean, that look not systematic, but maybe a little more purposeful. But otherwise, it's just a light dust around the floor. And then there's the exit on the other side and the entrance that you came in through.
Okay. The canary will fly back down, settle into the sun hat, and Belle will say, as quietly as she can, there might be someone else here. There was some kind of weird clean patches when I looked at the room from above. But there's nothing weird going on with this place. We are still in the mesa. So I think we should head further in. I think clearly we need to find whatever relic what was his name? Hobson. Whatever relic Hobson said that they had found. I think that's what the monk who visited us want us to find.
I think you are right, Belle. Newson's just going to have a look at the clean patches and see, is there any sort of pattern to them? Can they work out what might have caused these patches, or are they is there an obvious shape or pattern to them?
Well, it looks like that the floor actually might be patterned underneath all of the ash, just in stones. It's like somebody laid out your floor with regular patterned stones, and then some of the stones for some reason are fairly clean. Just around the edges is, in the pattern of the stone. It doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason for which ones are clean and which ones are covered in ash or desert dust. I should be very clear about the difference between the two. But random stones are just clear of any dust.
Does it look like the wind could have pushed the dust into piles? Like, because wind does blow things, or does it? So my question is this a hopping pattern of where it's safe to step? Or like, are there footprints compressing the dust, or is it completely clear because it's been blown dry by? Is there any breeze in here? There's a good question. Is there any breeze in here?
There is a light breeze in here through the vents that are way up high. But it doesn't look like, it's almost a little too perfectly in the shape of the stone. Like a singular stone within the whole pattern, and then randomly another one 10 feet away, and then another one that's 15 feet away. It's very random looking, and they look too far spaced apart to maybe be the stepping pattern. But it is suspiciously clean.
Newson, you have body weight. Do you want to step on the clear stones?
I'm happy to try, but let me examine it first. So Newson goes over to one of the clear stones and sort of kneels down and looks at it closely and listens as well. Is there like any vibration or anything else that it obviously sets it apart from the other stones, or could be causing the lack of dust?
There is a bit of almost a magical vibration around it if you look really closely. Like the feeling that you got when you looked at the sandstone relic that you have, or arcana, not relic. But no noises, no nothing extra. It's just suspiciously clean, and then a feeling of maybe something off, something different.
Okay, well, Newson will take out the robe, which, as they explained to their colleagues, they're intending to return to the monks. They're not keeping it for themselves. And will.
So you're not stealing it.
No, it's definitely going to be returned. Safekeeping. That's why I've got it. But they're going to toss it onto the stone, the clear stone, and see if anything unusual happens.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Then Newson will pick up the robe and do as Hefty suggests and step onto it. Onto the stone, that is, not the robe.
You step on it. You don't know your own name anymore. That's it. It's the only thing. You no longer know your name.
Everything okay?
I have a strange sensation. I feel fine, but what's my name?
Sorry? What's your name? It's Newson.
You remember your name?
Oh, yes, so it is. For a moment I've forgotten it. I don't know why. That's quite peculiar.
Is this the whole, wake up in an alley, forget your name thing again? Are you relapsing?
What?
Yeah, Newson's forgotten their name before.
No, I don't think so. I don't know why. but it just went out of my head. I don't think it's a relapse.
Well, let's test if it's the relapse or the stone. Come off the stone and step back on it.
One of us could do it, because if it's a name, then we should also forget our name. But if it's something else related to our personal history, then it'll be different. Here, I'll go. And Belle goes ahead and steps on.
Does the puppet step on or Belle?
They're connected. The puppet steps
connected.
on. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're connected.
You forget your name.
No, I've also forgotten my name. So it's a stone thing. What's my name?
Ooh, this is fun. What do you want to name her, Newson?
But I think I liked my old name.
Not enough.
I don't think it would be appropriate to mislead her.
Yeah, no, but I have a great one. Your new name is Bella, and you go by Belle.
Bella. I like that. Belle is very pretty. Oh, yeah, that is my name. Do I remember the full name when she says that?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, that's your new name.
Bella goes by Belle. I like that.
Yep, I'm great at inventing names.
You remember Belle and you like Belle, but you've forgotten everything else. Your full name is gone.
Interesting. Huh.
I'm looking it up.
What are you? Oh, the name.
Well, she didn't introduce herself to you guys with her full name either, so just Belle.
Oh, well.
I wonder if perhaps this could be something for the monks. Maybe it is a rite of passage. They step on these stones and it helps to get them in the correct mindset for their life of withdrawal. But I am slightly nervous about stepping on another stone. I don't know what might happen then. Perhaps we should do as Belle suggested and go further into the monastery.
Do you have anything you want to forget?
That is an interesting question, Hefty.
We could find the stone for it.
I'm not sure at this stage that there is anything I want to forget. I'm rather more interested in remembering things.
Well, you stepped on the stone. What if we pry up the stone? Belle, you might remember your first name, your original one.
Maybe. I don't have a crowbar, though.
No, and I'm slightly concerned about damaging the monastery when we are guests here.
All right. They don't want to play with the other stones, and they don't want to pry them up, so all right, let's move on.
Okay. You do see the exit on the other side of the hall. You have noticed that while you have been busy, one of the monks is a little out of alignment with the rest. That's it. Just shifted a little, almost like it turned slightly towards you.
I don't like this.
Are they still kneeling there? They haven't changed their position other than the rotation.
Oh my goodness, was it because I didn't speak purposefully? I'm sorry. I just tend to ramp. Oh, sorry. I'll be quiet. Did it move?
Nope. Hasn't moved.
Okay.
I poke it.
Oh, it crumbles into ash.
Ah!
See, it's okay, Belle.
Newson will collect the other rope.
I don't want to think about the fact that you might be crumbling people.
The thing that turned them into ash was the bad thing. The crumbling is just, I don't think they mind.
I guess that's fair.
Be mad at whatever turned them into ash.
True. I will focus my energies.
Yeah, not at me.
No.
Hefty, would you like to try stepping on another one of these stones to see if it has a different effect, as you suggested?
You guys don't know very much about me, so no.
Well, now's the perfect time to spill your life story.
I wouldn't be speaking purposefully.
I don't think I would make a very good monk here.
No, I believe this life is not for everyone.
Well, at the very least, we can go and check out what's outside and then come back in. Maybe we need to step on these stones for something.
All right. I'd step on that one.
Oh, I said after we go outside. I want to check the exit first.
Okay, let's check it. I possum plod my way across the dusty floor towards the thing Belle was pointing towards, that specific exit.
Do you carefully avoid any clean stones?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The exit is completely unchanged. It's still the long 20-foot hallway with the rules carved into the side, and you can see the desert beyond in the exit. Sun's a little bright because it's further down in the sky, but it's still daytime, so nothing has changed.
I wonder... Okay, I'm going to go step on every single one of those stones. And I think maybe what will happen is you'll have to speak a magic word that has to relate to those things. So my name, and then, I don't know, maybe your name? I don't know. I'm just going to step on it. We don't have a lot to go off of.
Well, I suggest stepping on one more first. Let's see what happens then. You may forget who you are.
Oh, that's true.
Or why we are here.
Well, just remember, my name is Belle, short for Bella, and I'm a little canary. And she goes and steps on one of the other stones.
Okay.
Love hearing that sound from the GM.
I definitely prepared for this. You have forgotten where you come from, like the town you were born in.
Oh.
I've got your wiki pulled up so I can just invent lots of stuff for you if you want.
Perfect. This is just new canon. Well,
Except it's new canon you've forgotten, so
exactly.
You might not need to know that information.
I might have been wrong about my hunch. I don't think there are any magic words because I just forgot where I came from.
You come from the tree. No, wait. I don't know where you come from.
I don't know either.
You never told us.
I think it's Nicomoy because that's where I met you.
That is true.
Is that the true answer?
No. So
It's not? Okay.
It's a little no.
You still don't remember.
So yeah, so I as the player who controls the character know where she comes from, but canonically, Belle only thinks she knows where she comes from.
Okay.
Yeah, she thinks she comes from Nicomoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not where you actually came from, so it's not technically the truth, so you don't remember. But you now think that you came from Nicomoy.
There we go. This is just reinventing ourselves, you know?
But you know that you have forgotten.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I want to step on any more. Part of me does because this is very ancient magic-y, and I'm interested in that. But I don't know. There is already so much that I didn't know, and now I don't even know what I used to know.
I tend to agree. We don't know what we might forget, and that could prevent our further exploration. Let's just go into the next chamber.
Okay.
What was the monk that was slightly offset, kneeling towards, if not the same thing as the others?
It was kneeling when it moved towards you guys.
Are there any other monks that are now towards us?
Someone in the front row has shifted and is turning towards you. Has turned towards you.
Oh no. I don't like this.
I'm gonna poke it.
I think
It
they're
crumbles
stealing our
into ash.
memories.
I think I poke all of them.
You poke all of them.
Yeah. I'm good.
They all turn into ash.
Yeah, that's
Nothing
better than jump
happens.
scares.
Yeah. Belle is not so upset about them crumbling anymore.
Does
They were
Newson
after
collect
me.
all of their robes?
I think Newson will collect 3 robes and then leave but they will pick them all up and shake the dust off, and they'll make the others into a neat pile in the room, and then take 3.
Wonderful. Okay. There are no more monks kneeling in this room.
It's been a while since I, the player, have been statue traumatized, but that brought some of it back.
Well, I was getting quite a Weeping Angels vibe from it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh. One of the
I might have
scariest things I've ever seen.
Been watching Doctor Who lately. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's okay. Is there anything else in this room, or someplace else to explore?
there is another exit, isn't there? There's
Yep.
we can go further in.
Yes.
Okay.
There is a doorway that looks like it heads further into the monastery. But otherwise, there's nothing else in this room.
Let's do that then.
Okay.
Belle will once again take the lead.
Do you step on any of the queen stones?
Probably shouldn't.
Newson is careful to avoid them.
Yes.
Okay. Hefty?
Hefty avoids them and looks at her paws as if she has magic monk crumbling powers.
Obviously, she does. All right. When you go through that, you enter into a hallway that splits into either direction, left or right. And you can choose one or the other.
Someone told me that the handbook always says go left.
Okay.
So
you go left.
I say left.
I haven't
right,
read
so
that handbook.
If you all agree, you go left. You'll enter through basically a doorway. And through the doorway is a long, narrow hall, narrower than the hall that you were in before. It's very weird. So you can see that there are doors along the hallway, and then at the very end is the entrance into what looks like another room. Can't really see what's in that other room. But the doors are just wooden, simple, very simple doors. But covering them and covering the walls are a whole bunch of scrolls. And they stretch from ceiling to floor. There's just madness. It's just full of scrolls. They're nailed haphazardly to the walls. They're covering some of the doors. The air, it smells of dried ink and parchment that's been left in the sun for too long. And otherwise, the floor is completely covered in that light dusting of dust. There doesn't appear to be any of those clean stones in here.
Do the scrolls have writing on them?
They do. If you try to scan the writing, they kind of shift. It changes as you look. They reform letters into familiar words. They might say your name. Sometimes they might say a memory, a journal entry that you never shared. The ink kind of curls like it knows you. And if Newson keeps looking specifically, you might see some of the scrolls appear to have some schematics on them that look a little familiar to you.
Intriguing. If he keeps looking, do they settle or do they just then keep moving? So
it is difficult to read them. They do keep shifting. If you look at one in particular, for you, it will show some schematics, and then it will shift to notes from someone named Captain Rowan. It will shift to instructions from someone named Lorella. But it's difficult to read because it keeps shifting.
You said there were doors down either side of the corridor. Are those doors or doorways?
They're doors. They're simple wooden doors. They're all closed.
Okay, well, Newson will go to the first door that isn't covered by a scroll and see if they can open it and see what's beyond.
It opens. It's a very, very simple room. There's no window. There is a bed with some light covering on it. It looks very uncomfortable, a very firm-looking bed. And a very simple table next to it with a desk, a chair to sit at. And there's a candle in a candle holder. And that's it. There's nothing else in the room. The desk does have drawers, if you want to look in the drawers at all. But otherwise, very simple. Looks to be maybe one of the monks' bedrooms.
And you said that the parchments were nailed to the walls or fixed somehow?
Mm-hmm. They're nailed either directly into the stone or nailed into the doors. They're all over the walls, and they're very disorienting because the text is moving on all of them.
I'm curious, does Bella see the name of her hometown?
Bella doesn't know how to read, right?
Oh,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Belle doesn't know how to read, but I was curious what would happen if she stands in front of it and she's not able to read it, but could Hefty read it standing behind her? Hefty
sees what Hefty sees.
Okay.
And you see what you see.
Oh man, forever a mystery.
I could teach you how to read.
Oh, I think that would be wonderful. But I don't know if you can teach me all that right now.
Yeah, you learn how to read in a dumpster behind the guild hall.
Oh, see, I've never gone to that dumpster before.
It's really big on the inside, and there's a plant that teaches you how to read. That's how you learn how to read.
Oh, we'll have to go sometime, and then maybe I can come back here.
Yeah.
What does it say on your scrolls, Hefty?
I look at a scroll.
You see musical writing, some notes written out on the page to a song that seems kind of familiar. You see schematics for traps, animal traps that maybe look a little more humane than the ones you've seen before. And some writing about, it's a little difficult to see, something about a musical possum, maybe like a play, like somebody's written out instructions to a play. It looks like some stage directions, but they keep moving, so it's really hard for you to tell.
I caught a little bit of turn, turn, turn by the birds sheet music, but it's going pretty fast.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I can't read then. I probably wouldn't be able to keep up anyway.
It is quite confusing. Newson would like to take one of the scrolls off the wall and see if the writing still keeps changing when they've done that.
Oh, does that count as stealing, though?
Well, Newson is not intending to keep it.
Okay.
Newson just wants to investigate.
If you pull it off the wall, it's like it kind of shorts out, and then the writing disappears on it.
Okay. Well, Newson will put it back on the wall when that happens.
It just hangs there lifeless. It doesn't move like the others anymore.
Maybe you could borrow this and a pen, because I have a feeling there's some areas we can't talk later on, and there's only so much writing space on Belle.
You make a good point. Very well. I will borrow this parchment, but I will not take it out of the monastery. And Belle, you have a pen, don't you? Because I saw you use it back in Nicomoy.
Yes. Here you go. Hands you the pen.
Okay. Then Newson's going to head down the hall to the room at the end.
Okay. So inside the room, it's looks like basically it's a spiral of sand on the floor. If you have any religion knowledge, it also can sometimes be called a meditation spiral or a prayer spiral. And it's just a big, giant, widening spiral on the floor. And in the center of it is it's a clay jar. It's just a simple looking clay jar in the center.
Sorry, one more question about the hallway.
Yeah.
How many? So I'm assuming that they're all monk cells in them. I'm just making that assumption. So how many doors are there? I'm thinking about there being 12 monks that we saw. And obviously there's another corridor we didn't go down, right? But I'm just trying to think how many monks might live here in total.
There's 10 doors on each side, but the rooms are quite small, so they're not terribly far spaced apart, but there's 10 on each side, so 20 in total.
So there's at least room for more monks than we've seen. Okay. And the room with the meditation spiral, there's no other exit from that room?
Nope,
Okay.
Only one entrance.
What's in the clay jar in the center, Newson?
I can't tell from here. Is it open at the top?
Oh, I know. Belle can fly, so you won't disrupt the spiral.
That is true. So Belle's going to position the puppet very carefully where it's not touching anything. It's still in the hallway. And the canary will go and circle around and see what she can see from above.
Okay. It is closed. It does appear to be wrapped in a cord. But otherwise, it's just a simple clay jar sitting in the center of the spiral.
Well, it seems to be all closed up, and I can't see anything in it.
Poke it.
You poke it.
Okay, I'm going to disrupt the spiral, unfortunately, as I step across the floor.
Okay.
Like, not
As
intentionally,
you-
but I got a tail, I got a pouch, I got 4 paws, and, like, I think my whiskers all drag on the floor, so something's going to disrupt the
That's
spiral.
adorable.
But are you walking in the spiral? I mean, I would instinctively just follow the spiral as I was going towards it.
Yeah, how much
You
space
might
is
still
there between
disturb it.
spiral? Yeah. I'm only.
It's enough for a human to walk without touching the next set of the spiral. So it's pretty.
Oh, then I definitely fit. Yeah. Hefty is. Let me read her dimensions officially. She is 7 pounds, 1 foot tall, 15-inch long body. So
okay. Yeah, you fit. Are you moving? How fast are you moving? Are you walking? Are you scuttling? Are you
I don't move
creeping?
very fast. Yeah, it's more like a waddle.
That's so cute.
Okay. Yeah. You waddle through the prayer spiral towards the center. Do you follow the sand all the way?
Oh, yeah. And then when I reach the clay jar, I dramatically, like my fingers have magic powers, gently poke the clay jar.
Gently poke it. It does not collapse into ash. It does rock back and forth a little bit. Like if you poked something and then it wasn't sure if it was going to stay upright or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I inspect the lid.
The lid is pretty secure. It has a thin iron gray cord that's wrapped around it. But that's about it.
I try to unwrap the cord.
Okay. When you touch the cord, you recognize that it is an arcana. It itself is an arcana. And it has something to do with, with words.
Oh, great. I want to do a will check.
Okay. Do the will check.
12. That's less than 17.
Woohoo. Okay. So you know that this is called the whisper coil. You put it around your wrist. Once per rest, you may speak a single word to someone who cannot hear you across walls, silence, and even across death if you know their true name. But using it causes a brief, painful echo in your own voice, and you take 1 will damage.
Okay, guys, I'm going to say this probably wrong. A voice from the heavens will correct me. This is the whisper coil. You can use it once per rest. Speak to someone who cannot hear you across walls, or even death if you know the person's true name, but you take 1 damage to your will.
Mm-hmm. You may speak a single word.
Single word. Speak 1 word.
That's gonna take a few rests to say your sentence.
Yes. Do you pick up the jar? Or do you leave the jar there?
That's a good question. I think I take the whisper coil and I put it around my wrist, and then I take the lid off.
Okay. Inside, you see a brittle white worm curled at the bottom of it.
A brittle worm or a white worm that's brittle?
Worm. A white worm that's brittle.
Oh. It looks like an incense curl. I want to catch it on fire.
But it is a worm. You are a possum. Yeah. You know that it is a worm.
Yeah. I definitely want to catch the sand on fire, though. Getting a lot of, like, incense vibes from this place. I'm just saying. Okay, I guess I will say, hey, you guys, there's a worm in here. It's brittle, and it's curled up at the bottom of this jar under this lid.
Yummy.
What?
Oh, I forgot there's a canary.
Okay. You want to come in the jar and give it a nibble?
Sure. I'm a little peckish.
All right. Do you hop in the jar?
Yes. So the canary will hop into the jar.
As soon as your beak touches the worm, you know that it is an arcana.
Oh, no.
And is a magical item, not a worm.
Oh, this is an arcana.
The vibe that you get from it is something to do with writing.
Oh, it's a writing magical item. Hefty, do you want to touch it too?
Yeah. I'll do another roll check. I got a 1, which is the better version of a 20.
That is a perfect. Okay. I mean, I don't know how to tell you. Well, I'll tell you this thing you might not have found out. So this is called a scripture worm. You can place it on a piece of writing or a person's forehead, and it reveals a hidden truth, but in forgotten script, only the user can read. You do know with your 1 that the worm crumbles to dust after 1 use unless it is fed with blood.
Okay, so this is a scripture worm. It crumbles to dust unless fed blood. So I think what we should do first off is feed it. In case we need to use it in a situation and we don't have enough time to refeed it.
So I don't have a knife. I guess I could bite. I just give myself a little nibble.
Oh, I can.
I don't have any blood.
Oh, yeah, that makes it difficult. I don't have a lot of blood. Here, I'll just peck you, Hefty.
Yeah. Do it here. I point to a spot I don't walk on.
Oh, wait. Sorry, hold on. I gotta retcon this because the canary can't speak.
Right.
Unless it's connected
Oh.
to the puppet. So, okay,
You
so
would have
she'll
to
go
fly
on-
back and forth.
Yeah, she'll go fly back and forth, but she's going to she's going to stay outside of the spiral, relay
Okay.
all of that, and then fly on over and peck Hefty.
Okay.
That gives me enough time to point to a spot that doesn't, I don't walk on. Maybe,
Yeah.
right below my shoulder.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I'm like, and just a little bit of food for you. That way you don't, die worm thing.
It'll just
Okay.
dribble from the canary's beak onto the worm.
It is now a fat, juicy white worm. It is no longer brittle. It
Don't
gobbles
eat it.
that blood right up.
Yeah, don't eat it. I know, it looks good. It looks delicious. Don't eat it. Okay, I'm going to put that in my pouch so that you don't eat it. Okay.
Belle will
Okay.
go on and fly back, and as soon as she touches the puppet and it reanimates, she's like, I wasn't going to eat it after you told me not to.
We're just going to avoid the temptation. It's going to be in my pouch.
That's fair.
Does Hefty waddle her way out of the spiral?
Slowly waddle.
Perfect. Nothing
So-
happens.
We have something that lets us speak in silence, something that lets us speak a word over any intervening barriers, and something that reveals a hidden secret,
In writing or in a person?
writing or a person. So writing and speaking.
Would you be interested in using the scripture worm? Because we can just give it more blood and then you can learn more about yourself. Because don't you have the memory gap thing? And then you got these moving words. So you could learn a truth about yourself from these moving words if you want.
I would very much like to, if you don't think that will cause us a problem.
Nah, I'm fine. It didn't hurt at all. Ow.
You do know it will work once per rest.
Oh.
Sorry, I should have caveated that. So you can't just keep feeding it blood and using it 80 times, please.
That's probably a good thing. It would have gotten problematic if we could.
I'd be like, let me just open Newson's entire history. But yeah, do you take it to one of the pieces of writing on the wall?
Yes, Newson definitely would like to do that.
Okay. He places it on one of the pieces of paper and eats a little bit of it. And then the words kind of settle on it. And you see that it is a letter from Lorella to Captain Rowan talking about you. And what it reveals is that she says that you were created as a helper to her aging father. But for some reason, she's decided you're no longer of use and is asking Captain Rowan to get rid of you. And hopefully that's okay, because I made that up.
Well, thank you, Hefty. Your suggestion was very good. I now know something about myself I didn't know at all before. I was a helper, and that makes sense. I've always felt the need to help people, and now I know that I was helping this woman's father. So maybe I can find him and find out more about my past. That was very helpful. Thank you, Hefty.
Hey, finger guns, but not at you because I'm still concerned they'll turn you into dust.
I love this canon now. Okay. Would you like to go the opposite side or exit, or where would you like to go next?
There's only one other way to go that we haven't gone yet.
Unless Belle is still very paranoid and wants to go check the entrance yet again. Make sure
Hey,
nothing
you
is-
always got to have an exit strategy.
That's
okay.
very true. Yes. Okay. If you cross back across through the script halls, nothing really happens. You cross the small split way, three-way split and to the opposite side of the hallway where you have not come from. As you step into the courtyard, Belle, I would like you to give me a will save.
Oh no, my will's only a 12.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's not bad, but phew, I got a 4.
Okay, that's good. You hear a voice, your own voice, whispering in your ear, secrets that you've never told anyone. But because you successfully made your will save, you're able to kind of shake it off and maybe shake your little canary head and go, and move on.
Did anybody else hear that?
Hear what?
Good. And Belle just keeps on marching down the hallway.
You enter into a courtyard. It's a weird courtyard because there's not much light. There looks to be a hole drilled through maybe the top of the mesa. It's a very big room. So there's a little bit of light coming through. But the courtyard it's a wasteland. It's scorched earth, skeletal plants that have been reduced to just silhouettes of char and ash. The wind that should be coming down through the hole doesn't move anything. You feel it on your skin, but none of the ash moves. As you step forward, you can see that your feet leave clear prints in the dust, so you can see that you're moving. And then there is another cloaked robe kneeling at the center of the garden, unmoving, covered in that red ash.
It's like something just sucked all the life out of this place. What if you give the statue your blood, Hefty?
Oh, I'll go try it. Here, wait, actually, peck the other shoulder. That one kind of hurts. And drop the blood on it from above.
Ooh, smart. Are you good with this plan, Newson?
It sounds quite peculiar, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Okay. You haven't noticed, Belle is a little rambunctious. So she'll go and take a peck from Hefty's other shoulder and just goes around just kind of almost like going into like a dive. Then as she pulls up above it, she'll let the drops of blood fall onto the white robed figure and she'll fly back to her puppet.
Okay. Let's say you drop 3 drops of blood. The first drop collapses the monk into ash.
Oh no. Hefty, your blood is too powerful.
You'll see that there are some lumps underneath it that maybe look like there's something underneath the robe. But as you do, things rise up out of the ash around it. 3 things, specifically. 3 things that look suspiciously like the 3 of you.
Oh no. This can't be good.
They look exactly like you. Right now, they're just standing still. Thank you for joining us for part 1. I've been your GM. We have Hefty. We have Belle.
Tweet, tweet.
And we have Newson.
See you soon, I hope.
And really quick before we sign off for our break, please feel free to leave us a review on whatever podcast platform you listen to. We're always happy to hear from our listeners. And you could have your review read out loud in someone's cool voice. Mostly Belle's, though.
Perfect. Bye. Thank you.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, I wanted to say thank you to my Athens Middle School librarian, Shuri, for nurturing my love of books and knowledge. Your dedication to literacy is inspiring. End quote. You can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com. Did you know we have paperback, ebook, hardcover and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible? Is there an episode of Fire Breathing Kittens that would make someone you know smile? Well, telling them about it would help us immensely. Thank you.
Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens. I am here with our beautiful players. We have Hefty. We have Belle.
Tweet.
And we have Newson, who's going to give us a recap for the beginning of the episode.
Welcome back. Yes, in the first part of the episode, our 3 intrepid adventurers were summoned onto a quest by a silent monk who left them a map with directions to a mysterious hollow mesa and with an exhortation to find the relic and save them. So we gathered together and travelled into the desert on a horse with no name. No, that's not quite right, is it? And then we found our way to the monastery and explored it, finding a number of monks who had all been... what's the right word? They weren't petrified, they were desiccated. And then Hefty employed her magic fingers to render them all into dust, and Newson tidied up their robes. And then we ventured further into the monastery, where we found their living quarters and some strange scrolls that, where the writing and images changed, reflecting what was in our heads, or parts of our personalities, parts of our memories. And then we found a meditation chamber where there was a clay jar, and Hefty went in and opened it, and there was a white worm inside, and the cord as well. So we now have between us these 3 items. One was the stone amulet that was given to us by the monk with no name, and they all give us different abilities to speak where it's quiet, and to learn something about secrets, which Newson used to find out more about their past, and in particular that they had been created as a helper for an older man of whom Newson has no memory, but may now try to seek out. And then went to the other unexplored wing of the monastery, where there is again a sort of desiccated courtyard with plant life that was dead, and another monk, which Belle used Hefty's powerful blood to render into dust. And then, strangely, there arose 3 duplicates of Hefty, Belle, and Newson. And that's where we left it.
Indeed. There are 3 duplicates in front of you now. They look exactly like you, including your posture. And they are just standing there and staring at you.
Belle's going to take a step forward, not saying anything. Yeah.
The one that looks like Belle will also take a step forward, but it moves a little bit slower than you.
Newson raises their right arm.
The one that looks like Newson will slowly raise its right arm.
Patty cake, patty cake.
The one that looks like Hefty will say the same thing, but in like kind of dry and echoing kind of voice.
Oh, patty cake's a hand game played by
Oh,
children.
you're doing patty cake.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will imitate you. It will imitate you playing patty cake and singing it.
Yeah. Well, when you imitate playing patty cake, you do play patty cake. So we are playing together from a distance.
From a distance, perfectly.
Do we think they're dangerous?
The one that looks like Belle will repeat those words slowly.
Well, they only seem to be imitating us, so it seems safe at the moment.
They're learning.
Both of your doubles speak at the same time, saying the same things you're saying.
Well, the rules say no fighting in this monastery, so maybe we just walk around the perimeter of the courtyard and try not to engage?
Hey, do you want to have Gus touch Gus's double?
Is the landlady actually still with us?
The landlady none of us have talked about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess she's there and the dog is there too, and they've just been really quiet. They took those rules to be very serious and have said literally nothing. The dog hasn't even barked. Not a woof. Not a single woof. There are no doubles that look like them. There are only doubles that look like the three of you.
No test dummies.
Yours says that too.
Well, I like your suggestion, Belle. Perhaps we should walk around the chamber and see what happens. And maybe we'll find something else that will help explain what's going on.
Okay, let's just stick together. And I guess we'll just like shuffle around the perimeter. Because like if we're not walking towards them, it's not like they're going to get any closer, right? So
They also start moving when you start moving, but you walked in through the courtyard, they were in the middle of the courtyard. So if you start moving this way, they start moving this way. If you start moving forward, they start moving towards you. But they're literally just mimicking your movement. So if you step 5 paces, they step 5 paces.
So I think we can, if we work around the perimeter and just kind of like go along. I'm imagining it as a square. It could be something a different shape.
It's a square courtyard, and there is an exit on the opposite side.
Yeah, so I'm thinking just like walk along the walls because they'll mimic us, but they won't get any closer, right?
In theory,
I'm bad with these like visualizations. So
in theory, they would walk right up to you, and who knows what happens then.
Oh boy.
I think we can interpret what happened to the 12 people as hostile because 13. There's one here too. Because they are no longer like able to move their bodies and walk around. So I'm thinking, although they're adorable, look at them. I'm thinking that if they touch you, you'd like turn into dust. Just as a theory, I'm thinking that it's not your friend, although so cute. But I'm curious. Belle, what happens when you fly off of the puppet? Does your shadow form dust self also? I'm talking as we walk around.
Well, you're gonna have to hold my body for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay. And so with puppet secured, Belle will go and just hover and like fly over, like try and fly over them. But if the double appears to be doing that, she's going to back off.
The double is also doing that.
Ah.
But when the puppet drops, it disappears into a poof of sand.
Oh.
/ ash. No, ash.
Interesting.
So
And
it's just
then-
the canary flying around.
Yeah. And so if she sits back on her puppet, what happens?
It reappears underneath her.
I think this is connected to life force somehow. Because the puppet really isn't anything unless I'm connected to it. It's my own, I mean, from what I can understand, it's my own magical ability that's piloting it.
They are all repeating everything you're saying, by the way. I just don't want to keep doing that.
Yes, totally fair.
Yes.
Oh, we should sing in rounds.
Oh, that's
boy.
fun.
Is mine as good at playing the ukulele as I am?
It does have a ukulele, but the sound sounds like it's almost hooked up to a broken amp, so it's really reverberate and kind of off, dusty.
Do you want to drop my blood on one of them from above?
Well, I'm kind of worried that what they want is blood. And so they might get stronger if we give them that. Like maybe they want to suck our blood.
That's what I was figuring. That's why we were testing it with a drop instead of physical contact.
Okay. Yeah. If I fly, though, I might run into my double because it's mimicking my movement.
Oh, does anybody have a ranged weapon?
I have pistols.
Yeah, shoot yours.
But it said the rules said no violence.
Oh, okay. Well, then just fly carefully. Let's design their path now. So if you go straight, it'll go straight. And then if you go left, you'll drop the blood, and then you'll circle back.
Okay, I'll do that.
Drop the blood on mine. I'm smaller than Newson.
Is there something you want to say before I do this kind of risky thing, Newson?
I was just wondering if we approached and then moved in a circle, whether that would end up with them going round as well, and therefore we would end up the other side of them.
I think that's a lot smarter.
We can flip sides. I still want to drop blood on one.
Okay, how about we flip sides and get to the other end first, so we have an exit strategy, and then I'll go over and drop blood on them.
Yeah, it's a plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever movement Newson suggested, let's do that.
Okay.
So that's what Newson's doing, is walking towards them, and then when they're still they're still not in touching distance, but we're all in the room, so there's a room then to circle round, so sort of stepping to the right, but sort of edging forward as well, so tracing out an imaginary circle and seeing whether they go the other way round the circle, as it were, or whether that works or not.
It appears to, yeah. And this flips you around, and you now have the collapsed monk robes behind you, and they are where you guys were standing. You're just all closer together in the center of the room.
Okay.
And since there's blood being distributed, I just want to say back left leg and also get the scripture worm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, can do. So I will get the scripture worm first, although who knows if we can use it because we haven't rested yet.
Right.
And then I will fly, I think leftwise is what you said, so that I'm not actually touching, like getting closer to my double, and I will only hit Hefty with the blood. I'll just kind of like flick it over and then head back.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? Sorry. I was going to ask a question about their appearance. You said they looked exactly like us, but are they do they have a dustiness, or is there something where they're not quite identical to us? Or do they just look like mirrors
They
of us, as it
do
were?
look like mirrors. They look exactly like yourselves. There's maybe some light dust on them, but it's not anything... like you guys are a little bit dusty too, because you've been walking through this dusty place. So, but otherwise, they're perfect copies of you for right now.
Well, what does it look like? What does Hefty's double look like after getting that drop of blood?
It kind of absorbs into it. It drops onto it and then absorbs inside like sand would absorb liquid or blood. But it doesn't do anything. It just continues to mimic what Hefty is doing. Yours also flies over Hefty and it drops nothing on Hefty.
Oh, good.
But it looks like it's supposed to. And when it bit into Hefty, a little bit of sand came out of its mouth, but nothing else. There's no blood or anything like that.
Well, these copies are strange. They only imitate us, so I don't feel worried about them. Perhaps we should just leave this room and leave them to it. I mean, if we go out this way, then maybe they'll go out the other way.
If there weren't dead people, I would agree with you, but I do feel like the thing happening here did claim lives.
Is it possible that the monks we saw before, that you turned to dust, Hefty, were...
I rearranged. They're still there.
As you say, perhaps they were copies, and the real monks are still somewhere.
Oh.
Maybe the copies turned to that strange dust-like appearance.
Ah.
So maybe
that's true.
there are still people to save.
There could be, yes.
Should we give it the copy? Should we give it the sandstone charm, saltstone charm? And then it can speak one sentence clearly per day, even if it's not allowed to?
I don't know if I really want to trust those magical items to them. What if they destroy them?
And they are speaking, just saying exactly what we're saying.
That's not free will. Yeah.
It's true.
Well, there's no guarantee that they're, I don't know, sapient beings. It could just be something that is just mimicking us, and then it'll just turn to sand once we're gone.
Do you guys just want to stop moving and take a nice rest
and then use the scripture worm to reveal a hidden truth about one of these creatures?
Ooh, that actually sounds pretty nice. A rest is only a few minutes in this game, right?
Short rest is only a few minutes, and you gain back any HP that you might have lost, which you have lost no HP.
Yeah. As much as I would like to test the combat mechanics in the system, I also don't want to break the rules of the monastery. But yeah, I mean, I would be totally down for that.
Okay. You take a few minutes and sit there in silence. They also sit on the ground looking at you. They do blink when you blink. They appear to breathe when you breathe. They'll mimic any movement or noises or words that you guys say. And after your rest is up, what are you going to do?
Who has the worm?
I think you do, actually, Newson.
I think you do. You used it on the scripture. Did you pick it back up off of it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just wondering whether we want to deliver it by Belle, but we want to keep the worm, right, in the longer term.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
We can always make them like just walk left or right and pick the worm up again. Oh, we can put the worm down, make them walk into it, and then
That's a
make
good
them
idea.
keep walking.
It has to be on their forehead. You do recall that information from your perfect 20 roll.
Use the hand gesture of picking up nothing to make them pick it up and put it on their own forehead.
Ah.
It really is not fun being a puppet. Shadow things.
I recently watched, I think it was Us is the name of that movie, where it's about like evil puppets, basically.
It's very creepy. Clones,
Yeah.
I think.
But it's also sad because like you feel kind of bad for the puppet clone people. So I'm like suggesting that we move their arm to put a thing on their own forehead, and I just feel kind of bad for them.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure how this will work since they're putting it on themselves and it says it reveals something to the user. So they technically are the user?
Yes, that was my concern as well.
Wow.
Well, you could drop it on their forehead. Here, ready? Okay, I'm posing like my forehead's up towards the sky. Fly overhead and drop it on my forehead.
No, but I think the thing is we won't know the information because it's only revealed to the user. So it'd only be revealed to the quote-unquote puppets.
If Hefty... Oh, why am I
If I
solving
look
this for
up-
you? Do it yourself.
If I look up and you drop it on my forehead, you are the user.
I agree.
Technically,
think?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're the one placing it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. I will go and I'll grab the worm in my talons, my itty bitty talons, and I'll carry it over and drop it onto Sand Hefty while avoiding Sand Belle.
Okay.
Sand Belle drops nothing on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
The worm drops onto Sand Hefty's forehead, wiggles for a bit, and then rolls itself off onto the floor.
Okay. I don't know, Belle, I guess Belle will go and pick up the worm and then go back and relay. Yeah, I didn't get anything. Did you, Hefty?
Oh, well, could you give it some more blood so it doesn't die?
Oh,
You
sure.
didn't technically use it because it didn't do anything. But if you want to
Okay.
keep getting picked by a canary,
No, I'm
that's
good.
your prerogative.
Well, we can tell by looking at the worm, right? If it's desiccated
Yes.
or it's fat.
It is currently a fat, juicy worm.
Don't eat it. So Belle will quickly return the worm to
Newson?
Newson?
thank you, Newson. Oh my gosh. I stepped on a tile or something. Yes.
Oh, let's make them step on a tile. No, that's, again, very rude.
Oh, but then we'd have to go all the way back.
Yeah, I'm so mean. I gotta stop abusing the puppets.
I don't think there's anything conscious in these things, so we should just keep on going.
Newson does want to go and look at the robe that has collapsed, and shake it out and see if there's anything more there under it, or when they shake it out.
Okay. You do see stuff underneath of it. There's actually 4 lumps under there. You see First, you see a monk's mask. It's just kind of a plain, simple mask. Maybe it's been made out of porcelain. Just a very solemn, quiet face on it. And then next to it, you see a very small bird cage, like one would carry a canary into the mines with, a mechanical heart, and an opossum trap. Not very large. It's a small one, like maybe you would catch baby possums in.
Is it a kill trap or a live trap?
It is a kill trap.
Oh, I look mad.
Yeah, Belle is none too pleased seeing a bird cage.
And Newson is a bit perturbed by the mechanical heart.
Mm-hmm.
Do these things mean something to you?
Not anything I'd like to remember.
I'm thinking it's malicious, and I'm okay with breaking a rule too.
Well, it's certainly not. It's not nice. I will say that.
But then, whose is the mask? Is that the monk that was here?
Maybe we should bring it along? Find its rightful owner?
But if they feel about it the way that we feel about our things, they'd be better with us breaking it.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just leave them.
Yeah, I don't want to deliver something that feels the way that this feels to me to someone. Like, here!
No, I think you're right, Hefty.
So you leave them in the sand? You don't touch them at all, just leave them where they were?
So I think Newson will put the robe back over them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nothing changes. Your double is mimicking you the whole way on nothing.
And then perhaps we'll head out the other exit.
Okay. They do mimic you. They go across to the other side, but they don't step through the doorway. They stop at the doorway and just stand there weirdly. But do you guys step through the threshold to the next area?
Yep. Belle is not
Okay.
feeling too happy, though. Like, noticeably in a bit more of a sour, irritable mood.
Mm-hmm.
Newson
Okay.
will follow Belle.
Yep.
The wind rises as you cross the threshold to the next chamber, dry as a sandpaper kiss. It coats your teeth, your tongue, the back of your throat with a taste like old incense and scorched grain. There's no moisture here, none in the air, none in your breath, and even your thoughts feel brittle, flaking at the edges as if the place is drying them out too. If you turn back to look as you step over the threshold, your doubles are no longer there. They have collapsed into ash. The next area that you walk into is another alcove/hallway, but it's different than the other ones. Polished bronze lines the walls here, like hammered into the wall, sheets of bronze. It's dim, but it's clear enough to reflect your form. There's some lanterns in here that are lighting up the place. And at first glance, your reflections match you. Do you continue walking down the hallway?
Yeah, I think Belle would keep going. I don't think she'd even really... Oh, no, she would. Birds notice shiny things. So she's a little more... she's still a little irritable, but very now quickly distracted by the fact that there's, brass shiny coverings everywhere and reflections. Wow.
Does anybody else
Isn't this
notice?
place just beautiful?
You do see an entrance or a doorway, a very beautiful doorway, far on the other side of the bronze hallway. So you are headed towards something. I should have explained that. As you continue along, if you do pay attention to your reflections, you might see that some of them alter a little. Just small things. You know, maybe your limbs are a little longer than they actually are, or maybe it looks like your mouth is a little twisted. Do you continue on?
It's only the reflection, though. It's not us that's changing.
Appears to be only the reflection.
Love when a GM says that. I mean, Belle is just going to keep on going. I think she'd notice it and be like, oh, that's a little funny. And then just keep on going because...
Did she say that out loud?
Yeah, I think she would.
Okay. Your voice detaches from you.
Oh no.
And it floats down the hallway, and it becomes an echo that mocks you over and over and over again. Your same words getting more and more hostile sounding.
Oh, that's... I don't like that. Oh. Did you guys...
Oh, you can't talk.
Okay, so I can't talk. Like,
Right.
okay, I try and say that, and it's just like open mouth and...
I hand you the sandstone charm in case you need to talk to us.
Yeah, I've got to be really careful.
Remember when I was falling off a cliff earlier and I was like, yipes, and then you helped me not die? If you need to make that yipes sound, you have this sandstone charm. But I hope you understand my intention as I hand you this, because I don't say anything.
Yep. Yeah, you can... yeah, I mean, it's not like the puppet even has like a mouth that functions, because really it's just like magically transmitted voice. But it's like Belle the canary is very frantically like flapping her wings, and she's not happy. But
Are your
she's
wings
going to
making
be...
noise?
I guess they would. Oh no. No,
That
even
sound
that's gone?
detaches from you, and it starts flapping louder and louder, and it sounds like almost a whole group of birds, a gathering of birds are all panic flapping around you.
Oh, dude, if sanity checks existed in this game, she'd totally be making some saves. Oh, man. Man, if birds could cry. But hey, at least you guys learned.
At the far end of the hallway and sort of cocks their eyebrow.
Hefty walks towards the far end of the hallway.
Belle is trying not to just bolt over there. She's going to stay with the group, but she is desperate right now.
Okay. The further that you walk along, the more distorted your reflections become. And then as you see, before you get maybe 15 feet away from the door, you see those same clear stones on the floor between you and the path, but it's the whole floor is completely cleared of ash, and it's clear stones all the way. And that's what you see before the door.
Is it a line like we can jump over it, or is it like this area?
It's an area. The whole area from wall to wall, 15 feet down from the door, is the clear stepping stones.
I don't make any noise, and I gesture to the robes that Newson is carrying, and I mimic laying them down on the stones.
Okay, Newson does as Hefty is indicated, gets the robes out, folds them out and throws one down. Well, lays one down. You can lay the first one down, right? Mm-hmm. But then Newson pauses and then turns to the other two and shows their hand. And as they do so, little suckers appear on their hand.
Oh.
If you've been quiet for about 30 seconds, you notice that Belle's voice and the flapping have gone away. And Belle, you can feel your voice is back.
Thumbs up, you guys.
Newson continues gesturing and showing that they can stick their hand to the wall.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. What you can hear instead is a pattern of what sound like footsteps coming from where you are now to the door. And they sound like a very specific cadence and pattern, like a little song as somebody steps across the walkway. But you don't see anything, you don't see any people, you just hear a pattern of footsteps.
Well, Newson's not sure they can replicate that pattern, although probably Hefty could.
I mean, what I was thinking about was my weapon is ukulele. If I make sound, it's going to be taken from me and then I won't be able to attack. But mechanically, it's a pistol, so maybe I still will be able to attack. I don't know. So, like, that's what I was thinking. I was in attack mode. I wasn't in, like, replicate mode. And there's probably no way to communicate that to me without losing your voice for 30 seconds. But yeah, I'm like There's a look in my eye like I'm in a corner.
Hefty's ready to attack.
Are there any pillars on either side that maybe we could tie the ropes to? And so we can, kind of like tightrope our way across without touching the floor at all? Because I am not confident in my ability to try and decipher this puzzle.
Unfortunately, the walls are entirely the hammered bronze sheets that are still reflecting your distorted reflections. So no pillars.
Newson gestures to their back and again shows that they can stick to the wall.
That's right. Okay. Belle's puppet will walk on over and actually just tie themselves to you using the rope, and then Belle will actually hop onto your head and cling to your hair.
Yep. Hefty is also clinging to you. Possum cling.
Newson doesn't have any hair, but they do have a hat.
Oh, clinging to the hat.
Okay, what are we doing with Mrs. Blanchett and the mud?
They can just stand here and look at their mirror selves get aggressive or more and more distorted. Have fun.
Okay. Awesome.
You can go back out in the courtyard too.
Okay. Do you guys leave them there?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's up to Newson, honestly.
Maybe they shouldn't be in the final battle, Newson.
Well, Newson can't carry Mrs. Platchett and Gus, so I think that maybe they will just take the two smaller members of the group.
Okay.
Leave the others behind. They can always retreat down to the other room if they want to, if they don't feel comfortable in the hall with the distorted images.
Mm-hmm. You'll see that the longer they linger, the more distorted the images become. And they will need to make a will save if they linger for too long.
Oh boy.
I mean, Newson is trying to make that gesture, right, that they can go back while we go forwards.
I'm sure Mrs. Platchett
not
would
telling
not
them what
enjoy.
to do, but offering it as an option, right?
She would scuffle her way back down softly so as not to lose her sound. And we'll have her and Gus step back into the garden with the creepy doubles that are not there right now. But you want to try to use your webbed feet to get across the stepping stones?
Yes, please.
On the walls?
Yes. I will have left the one of the robes on the floor though, just at the so if there's any early accident, there's a chance we'll fall onto the robe, right? But that obviously won't last for the rest of it. But just for the beginning, because I'm not sure of the grip on this bronze surface.
Okay. Give me a strength save. Strength save to hold on to them, and then a dex save to get across.
Okay, well, the strength save was 15, so that is a success with strength of 17. Mm-hmm. And the dex was 4, so that's well under.
Oh, definitely. Okay, awesome. You successfully carry them across the stepping stones, and nothing happens. You end up on the other side in front of this big, beautiful door. Yay.
Okay.
Silently clapping. Not very podcast friendly, but it's there.
I think everyone's quite keen to get out of this strange corridor now, so Newson won't hesitate in trying to open the door if there's nothing unusual about it.
No, just looks like a big, beautiful door. The doors grind open with a dry groan and reveals what looks to be the inner cloister. It's silent, suffocatingly so. The air in this chamber is thick, not with dust, but with something older. Expectation, stillness, the weight of watching silence. You step across the last threshold. You can see that the floor here is bare stone, marked by careful concentric rings etched into the ground, like the ripple of a sound never made. And at the center, resting on a low, bone-colored pedestal, lies what you can only assume to be the relic. It is impossibly black, so black that it swallows the light, drinks it down until your eyes water trying to define its shape. You can tell where it is, but not what it is. No dust clings to it, no reflection plays across its face, no sound echoes in this place at all. Even your breathing feels incorrect, like you've forgotten how to do it properly. And that's what you see.
I am so scared. Just like, that was a really good description, and I am just really nervous about next steps.
I think...
Does my voice disappear?
Nope.
I think we should only touch that thing with a robe.
I'll be honest, I don't even really want to go near it.
What was it the monk said at the beginning? Find the relic and save me?
Free me.
Free me.
So maybe it needs to be broken? It just sounds kind of scary, though.
I would like to try to charm the relic.
Okay.
Okay.
How would you like to charm the relic? Tell me how you would like to.
I would like to perform Happy Together by the Turtles, originally written and performed in 1967 and no longer copyright.
Oh, beautiful. Please perform this for us.
And then I'll roll a dice, and I think the mechanics say that if I get a 17, 16, 15, etc., then I succeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. We'll see. Oh, heads up. I don't know how to play the ukulele. All right, there we go.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the relic you love and hold it tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine. So happy together.
And then this is a new chord for me. The E chord. Can I get it? Fourth finger stretch.
I can't see me loving nobody but you.
wait, I got it. Finger stretch.
You for all my
G chord.
life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life.
One last part.
Yay!
So happy together. How is the weather? So happy together.
Charm.
Yeah.
Be charmed, Relic.
Oh, God. Okay. Roll
Here's a
that
D20.
will.
It can't hurt to make it like us.
Uh-huh.
That's a 10, so that's lower than 17.
That is lower.
Newson turns to Belle and says, I told you that Hefty could sing beautifully.
Belle is still a little too scared to speak, but she is so tickled.
Did you
Imagine, Relic, we could be friends.
Did you sing it at that volume?
Like, did Hefty sing it
Did
pretty
Hefty
loud?
keep it? Because you guys have been keeping your cool pretty, your voice is pretty low for the most part.
Yeah. It's definitely louder volume than whispering, I would say. It's hard to make a ukulele whisper. That is fair.
That's fair. The relic is probably charmed. You won't know until you attempt to interact with the relic. Unfortunately, with the raising of your voice and your beautiful song, it is louder than a whisper/quiet voice, and a tall, ash-wrapped figure with no face, just smooth, cracked skin where a mouth and eyes once were, arises before you. It moves without sound, and it looks vaguely like a monk, and now it is something else. And it is hostile and looks like it is going to attack you.
Oh no.
Specifically you, Hefty.
Did it not get charmed by my wonderful song? Because it has to have heard it.
It did have to hear it, yes.
Maybe it doesn't like music.
It is here enforcing the rules of the monastery.
Oh, charm spell didn't charm. Okay. Well, it's coming for me. Would it be fair to assume that it would take extra damage from sound attacks? Seems kind of sensitive to them.
Sure. That seems fair to me.
All right. With it not charmed, I know exactly that it is hostile. You know, I have no hesitation that it is hostile because
Correct.
That was my charm attempt. So, that means I'm going to, with no hesitation, attack it.
Okay.
With music. Let's see. All right, I got House of the Rising Sun, I got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Three Blind Mice, The Sound of Silence, and Turn, Turn, Turn by the Birds. Learn a song per episode.
Beautiful.
By the end of the year, I'll know some songs on the ukulele.
Sound of Silence seems thematically appropriate.
Exactly.
It does.
All right, this is an attack.
Okay.
I have to play the ukulele for an attack. Mm-hmm. And with this attack, I'm going to be doing a d6 of damage. Here goes. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping towards me is scaring all of me and my friends. And the sand creature that is creeping up to us still remains within the sound of creeping sand creature.
Beautiful.
Hopefully that made it die. Here's a d6 of damage for you.
Okay.
5.
5. All right. It did not kill it, but it took it, and it flinched back at the sound of your beautiful song. Does anybody else want to do anything?
Belle will take a shot at it. So hopping back onto her puppet, the eyes start to glow. So she has pistols into the odd mechanics, but since she's kind of more like magic-y, she's going to have just like laser eyes. So she's got like beams of light going at it. And so I roll a d8.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's kind of nice that you don't have to roll to hit in this game. You can just you just do damage. It's guaranteed. Makes it easier. Oh, it's only a 2.
It's only a 2. That's not bad. 2 is still
And
good.
Newson is going to say, "Do not harm Hefty. If you keep approaching, I will be forced to stop you," and will form their hand into a big bladed weapon, which they will swing at the approaching monk spectre.
Okay. Go for it.
Which is a 5 on a d8.
Awesome. Okay. It does look like it's taking the hits. It jerks back at everything that you're throwing at it, but it is still advancing, and it will swing for Hefty with a... Oh god, I've lost it. Where did you go? There we go. What looks like a blade that's kind of formed out of its own hand, but it's silent, completely silent. And it will attack you. And that is a 5 to hit. Or not a 5 to hit. I'm so used to other things. That is 5 damage. But you do have 1 bit of armor, so it should be only 4 points.
My thick possum hide
Yeah, that cute.
absorbs one of the damage. So I go down from 19 to 15 hit points.
Perfect. Okay. It should be back to you guys. Oh, but Newsom, you spoke, right? Oh,
I did.
Oh, and you played a song. Any creature within 20 feet of it must make a will save at the end of your turn if you have spoken, used Arcana with verbal commands, or it's just those 2. So if you've spoken at all, make me a will save.
11. That's lower than a 17.
Perfect.
And thankfully, although Newson only has willpower 11, I rolled a 2.
Nice. Awesome. You guys are fine then. And it is back to your turn.
Well, I think we should try and prevent Hefty from attacking if possible.
Yeah, you guys go before me.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for another laser eye shot.
Go for it.
I got a 7 that time on a D8.
Hey, nice.
Pew, pew.
And Newson will swing with their blade as well. But only rolls a 1. So that's just a glancing blow.
It is. It has an armor, so it deflects that entirely and takes no damage. But it is looking very weakened.
I'm okay with making another will check, but I don't want to play a huge song, so I'm just gonna... That was an attack.
Beautiful. Roll your hit.
That was a 3.
A 3. It is still not down. It is going to attack you again, Hefty.
Oh, no.
And I'll make a will check because I made a loud sound. A 5 is below a 17. I'm pretty confident in those will checks.
You're very good with your will saves. I need more dex saves in this game. That's what I'm learning. Okay, it is going to hit you again with its stillness blade. Let's see what it does. 1 point of damage, which your armor ignores. So, no, it's feeling very weak. It's going to glance off of you, and it is back to you guys.
I mean, yep, I'll just... One more eye laser. Let's see if we can get this a 2 again. Is that enough?
Okay.
Does Newson
Not
need
quite
to...
enough.
Okay, come on. You got this, Newson.
Newson
It is
rolls
crumbling.
a 3.
A 3. Perfect.
Yay!
That is exactly what you needed. The not monk collapses into ash and fades away before your eyes. And it is gone.
Good, because it was hitting me with this stillness blade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool name, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
We must be careful to be quiet and obey the rules of the monastery, I fear.
That means that Bella knows that I told her the right name.
because you didn't lie.
We didn't get attacked by a statue by breaking rule 4.
True. That's true.
Depends how good Belle is at logic puzzles, right?
So you want to, use your humanoid hands to wrap the robe around him and pick up the void relic?
Well,
Or do we want to drop stuff into it?
No. Let me do it, because if things get hairy, I can always just fly away.
Oh, yeah, you make your puppet touch it.
Yeah. Although after what you said about those sand doubles, now I'm kind of feeling bad about it. But it's okay. Can I borrow one of those robes, Newson?
Of course. And I have this backpack that we brought with us for this very purpose.
Perfect. It's a little big on the puppet, but I think it can carry it.
But if we take the relic, how are we going to free the monk?
I think we should just improvise.
Yeah, we'll leave it somewhere in the desert. Be like, don't touch this on a sign. And maybe it's an area of effect. I don't know.
Or maybe they're all trapped in there? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We're definitely going to throw it off a mountain for sure.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I see what you mean. So taking it away from the monastery might free the monastery from its effect. That does make sense.
They did break their own rule of no stealing.
Oh. Well, I'm not stealing this robe. I'm borrowing it from the borrower. Okay, let's go and see how this works out. So, Belle will drape her puppet in the robes, so actually wear it, and I imagine it's a bit oversized, so there's plenty of robe cloth to grab with. So she walks on over to this scary, scary void box thing, and she will try and grab it.
Okay. The closer that you get to the relic, the more you feel it. Not power, not hunger. It's just absolute stillness. Immaculate, quiet, silent stillness. As you get closer to it, the closer you get, a form rises up next to it. Do you keep approaching?
Can I back away and ask for one of the arcana that we got? Because I'm worried that it's I'm going to be surrounded by silence and I won't be able to communicate with them unless I've got something. So,
You still have the
But,
the saltstone.
The sandstone charm? The
Yeah.
saltstone charm?
Hefty gave that to you earlier, didn't she?
I thought it was the worm that I had.
No, I had the worm.
charm?
You've got the charm, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I forgot about that.
Because you lost your voice in the bronze hallway.
Yes.
So they gave you the saltstone charm so you could speak in case you needed it.
Yes. Belle had already pushed that out of her memory. But okay, so never mind. She won't go back. She will continue forward, but she will have the salt charm ready for use.
Okay. All right.
What does this form look like?
Can they see it?
They can. You can see it. It rises out of the dust. It looks similar to the other robed monks. The only thing that's different is the dust around it is swirling around it. There's more movement to it than there have been with any of the other shrouded figures that you've seen. And it speaks. So it will say, as you get closer, "You have crossed into the final hush. The breath that bore your name has ended. That which you call relic is not a thing. It is a stillness. It is the absence of error. It is the unworded truth that the monks died to remember. We gave our voices first, then our names, then ourselves, and in return, it gave us peace. You now disturb that peace. You spoke where none should. You walk where none return. You are not prepared to carry it. You are not prepared to hear what it keeps. Lay it down and lay yourself down."
As ominous and foreboding as that is, Belle does not like being told what to do and what she can and can't do. So without a word, so Belle the canary is looking at the figure, but the puppet is looking at the relic.
Okay.
And Belle will maintain eye contact as the puppet picks up the relic. Does anything happen?
Yeah. It's gonna attack you.
Yep.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep. Okay. You can tell that it is going to attack you, and you, as the player, go first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to definitely attack it, and you guys, I hope if you see me attack it, will also attack it. Mm-hmm. Laser eyes.
I'm a ranged attacker, so I'm definitely going to try to go before this thing hits.
Perfect.
Bella.
That is 6 damage.
6 damage. Perfect.
Yes. Pew pew.
Okay.
I love the laser eye sound effect. Well, if Bella's attacking it, then Newson is not going to stand by and let their friend go into battle alone. So Newson will run over, extending their blade, and also swing at the spectre.
Okay.
Only 1.
Only 1. Okay. It has armor that you can tell, so that glances off of it. Hefty, are you going to do anything?
Yes. I'm going to make a will check and a damage roll and a ukulele sound.
Okay.
And that is a will check of 14, which is below 17.
Perfect.
And it was a 3 on the dice.
A 3 on the dice. Perfect. Okay. Now it's the Dust Warden's turn. A staff appears in its hand. It's a bone-handled, tall staff etched with silent prayers. It is going to attack Bella with a D8. That is a 4.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I've got no armor, so that hits me.
Okay. And it is back to the players.
I actually think I'm going to actually attack the relic. I think it's time to break it. If this warden wants to protect it, then I want to break it.
Okay.
So I will aim my attack at the relic instead.
Okay.
And if I can get closer to Newson, that'd also be good. I feel like a sword would be pretty good against this.
Yeah. You can move and make an action on your turn.
Okay. Perfect. So I will move and then make my action, and that's 7
Okay.
of pew pew eye lasers.
Okay. It will. It makes a bit of a sound when you hit it. Not much. It feels like it absorbs it. Whatever sound and whatever impact that you make on it feels like it's absorbed it. Doesn't mean it didn't work. Doesn't mean it didn't do anything. But it looks. I don't know. Didn't sound like it should look when you hit it.
Did the Dust Warden react in any way when it saw me hit it?
Yes, it looks very upset.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, who's gonna try next?
I have this thing. I didn't mention it at the very start because I didn't think it would come up. The GM said take 1 Arcana for your character because there's a lot of Arcana in this game. We should get to play them. So I picked out the Gorger's Mask as part of possum stats because possums can eat carrion. But it did give me the magical ability to eat anything without ill effects. So I think I want to bite it.
You gotta, like you're trying to eat it?
Yeah, I want it. The wearer can consume anything safely.
Okay.
So are you talking about the relic or the warden?
I think, oh, you know what? I want to eat the relic.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear.
Since you mentioned it. Yeah, I think I want to eat the relic.
I should have used my miniaturize Arcana because I can like shrink anything. Oh, darn it.
That would
would've
make it
been such a
easier
good
to eat.
opportunity.
I'm only a 15-inch long possum. So do you want to, that's the plan. Do you want to shrink it and then I'll eat it?
I mean, I already took my action to attack it, so I don't think I can use the miniaturize coil.
Okay. All right. Next turn. Can I fit it in my mouth, GM?
The look on GM's face right now. It's just like
it's one of those questions the GM is never quite prepared for.
Yeah.
Depends what sort of game you're playing, I guess.
You want to eat an item of unfathomable magic that has murdered multiple monks.
I'm just reading the rule book, GM. The wearer can consume anything safely.
I hate this game. I'm quitting this game already.
What I'm getting is Into the Odd is the perfect game for those creative break the game kind of players. That's what I'm hearing.
It's me.
What do you mean you're eating the artifact that I sent you on this long journey to go like face, either destroy or do something else with, and your something else is I'm gonna eat it. I mean, the thing is, you're playing true to your character. You are an opossum. Opossum would absolutely eat it. It looks like trash. I'm gonna eat it. So I can't say no. Go for it. Eat the thing. Just because you can safely eat it doesn't mean it's not going to do anything to you. But sure.
Yeah. Especially it doesn't say anything about the way out, you know?
Yeah. I didn't say it would come out. It's not small. It's probably like the size of the size of Newson's fist. It is like an obsidian-looking stone that's kind of wrapped in bone. But technically, opossums have pretty large mouths. They can unhinge. No, they can't unhinge their jaw like a snake. But they can eat big things.
I did search just now possum eating, and the first result is possum breaks into home, eats entire cake. So I'm going to watch that, and then I'm going to let you know if I think the possum could fit its mouth around. Okay. I'm going to screen share so you all can see this too.
Fist-size object.
Yeah, let's all see if the possum... I'm going to share my screen. We can all watch this together.
I'm excited.
Okay. All right, so this is a news story of a possum breaking into a house.
This is what playing TTRPGs with your friends is all about, you guys.
He's so cute. Look how
really
cute he
cute.
is.
So that's the possum after they've eaten the cake, presumably, and they're just resting on the sofa.
Yeah. Oh, I love how catching it was basically just walking up to it, putting a cage next to it, and then picking it up and putting it into the cage.
Yeah, that was it. Okay. No fight, no nothing. Possum was just like...
Here was the cake. We got a picture of... that's a big
Costco cake.
Yeah. Okay, so we're pausing the video on the cake now. Do you think that the relic is bigger or smaller than this large cake?
It's definitely smaller than that cake, but I assume it ate the cake in bites. I don't think it ate it
true.
in one gulp.
That's true. Okay, so I'm going to go with, unless it's miniaturized, I probably can't eat it.
Yeah, let's go with that, please.
Well, I know what my next turn is then.
Yeah, I think I spent my turn explaining that.
You could say you made your turn moving over to it, and if you want to do another attack at the warden, that's fine with me.
I moved and I talked.
Okay.
And then I gestured and
you were like, nom, nom, nom. Okay. All right, I think it's Belle, are you left? Did you make an attack this round?
Me.
No, it's Newson.
Okay.
But I'm... Newson is more worried about the Dust Warden, so they're going to just strike the Dust Warden with their blade.
Okay.
Because they think the relic is nothingness, right? That's sort of what it was described as. It's an absence of stuff, so they'd rather deal with the tangible Dust Warden. That's a 4.
A 4. Okay. That's great. All right. It is the Dust Warden's turn now. And it does not like that you are going towards the relic because that's bad for it.
I have explained my plan.
Yes, and it is an intelligent creature, so it understands what you're doing. Okay. It's going to release something called an ash pulse. So it's a swirling pulse of ash in a 20-foot radius. All creatures in the area must make a dex save or be blinded and choking for 1 turn. Also, the warden will become obscured and immune to ranged attacks until the start of its next turn. So everybody make a dex save, please.
I rolled a 9, which is under Newson's dex.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Hey!
Yay! Thank goodness I got a 2 because my dex is only 8. I am very susceptible to dex saving failures.
Okay, so you're all not blinded and choking, but you are going to have difficulty seeing the warden, and it is going to shift to somewhere you cannot see.
Oh, no.
And it will go back to you guys.
Okay, so I will use my action to use the miniaturized coil. Touch an object to shrink it into a tiny miniature. Already doing that. And I can restore the object to original size at will.
Inside of Hefty's stomach.
Well, I'm not going to do that, obviously.
Okay.
Because I can't touch it.
Right.
But, okay, so I just pull out this coil from this little compartment in my puppet's chest.
Okay.
And I will touch it to the void and try and miniaturize and shrink it.
Okay. I don't think you need to do any saves or anything to use your arcana.
Yeah, I guess it was more a question of is this shrinkable to begin with?
Yeah, there's nothing that says it can't be.
Woohoo!
It shrinks. Yep. It
And
is
I
now
will
a
move
smaller relic.
over to Hefty and hand it to her.
I believe the phrase is, and correct me if I'm wrong, batter up.
I will once again read the Gorger's Mask. Okay, so again, I took this just because I wanted to be able to eat rotten corpses and not suffer for it, like possums do. But the text technically says the wearer can consume anything safely. And I put it in my mouth, put my mouth around it, and my little possum face, like we just all saw in that video, is quite pleased with itself as it swallows. Little pink nose twitches, little black ears, like moving with my jaw as I swallow the relic.
Okay.
In my imagination, if you got the sort of nothingness relic inside you, you're just going to be very, very hungry from now on.
Yeah. You swallow it.
And it's my friend.
It is
No, 'cause
charmed by you.
It's a charmed relic.
God, I forgot. It's charmed by you. Okay.
This game's a bit silly.
This is a little silly. I don't think that was his intended vibe, but we break games here.
Oh God.
That could be a new strap line. We break games.
Okay. So. All right. Well, you've swallowed it. You do feel different. Not negative. It's a positive feeling because you can't be harmed by it. You have become something new. You are a freaking opossum. That is now an arcane conduit. You have fun new abilities as an opossum. Oh boy.
Belle is going to be a little jealous because she is.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so it all has to be positive because you have this mask.
And it's charmed by her.
And it's charmed by you. So you get some cool things. Oh God.
We just see Hefty like float into the air and do like the whole like transformation sequence into
it's a full-on fifth element moment. Like everything stops, all the silence goes. Hefty, this beautiful possum with a sun hat on, a cowboy hat on, is lifted up into the air, slowly spiraling around. There's dust swirling around you. The dust warden kneels and bows to you. There is still no sound that's happening. Oh God. Okay. Well, so here are your new abilities. The dust warden will now pronounce you as the Mouth of Silence.
Wow.
That is your new title. Once per rest, you can devour a spell effect. You can just eat it. You can eat the magic and it's gone. If you kill a creature in melee, you'll heal by gorging on them.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I want to give you more, because all the things I was thinking of were negative. Like things, if you guys broke it, there were negative things that were going to happen. And now
shoot.
It's positive. So,
well, it depends on your definition of harm, I guess, right?
Yeah. You have a 15-foot radius around you that becomes sonically dead. No spells, except for you. You can do it. No spells with verbal components can be cast. No commands, no names. So enemies will suffer while in the aura, basically. You have like a 15-foot dead zone aura around you. And it likes you, so it's going to stay inside of you. It's very charmed by you. It loved your song. It ate your song, basically. So it's going to sit in you, and it's going to eat everything. And this is what you've done to yourself. You have an ancient relic of silence inside of you.
The sound of silence.
I'm just glad it's going to stop killing people.
Yeah, the Dust Warden bows. I'm trying to think if he says anything. He definitely addresses you as the Mouth of Silence, which, come on, that's a great name. Yeah, I guess he just says, you stepped in ash, you faced your fears, and you have conquered the relic, but it is not a prize. It is not a power. It is what waits when all other things are gone. And it is now a part of you. Yeah, and then I guess it just fades away. This is not how I was expecting this to go.
The Dust Warden is just as shocked as everyone else.
Yeah. He's a little like, is this okay? There's no one to ask. There's no one to ask if this is okay. Yeah.
I whisper hum happy together to the relic inside me.
So happy together.
It doesn't hum back because it's a silence thing. It kind of absorbs it and eats it. makes it happy, I guess. Oh boy.
So anyway, game designers, when you have a will save, and your character has it naturally with no manipulation on my part, rolled a 17 will. Because we leveled up 5 times.
Yeah, I think 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, game designers, this is what can happen.
Yeah.
That's what playtesting is for.
Right. If you have a thing that basically lets you do perfect nothing, like nothing can harm you if you do something, then nothing can harm you. And yeah.
Yeah, playtesting.
Woo! Yeah. Maybe a more experienced GM might be able to come up with something to twist it around, but yeah, you charmed it and you ate it while being able to eat anything.
Yeah.
So. And it doesn't want to be destroyed, so it's going to go along for the ride, I guess.
I mean, I would love it if it just like consumes Hefty from the inside slowly over time. But
well, it can't harm you. So as long as you're wearing that mask, which is a part of your body that you described to me, so you're fine, I guess. At least in this system.
I think there is leeway in harm, though, right? As you say,
That's
a
true.
DM can be creative with that, because it can, what you rightly said, right, it can change you, and it has changed Hefty, and those changes don't have to necessarily be positive to be non-harmful. Right? There is a bit of wriggle room in there, but I too like Hefty's change, and I don't know, it's reminding me a bit of how in Discworld there's a death for each creature, and so I think Hefty's become the possum of not of death but of nothingness almost.
And the 15 foot radius would affect your allies and your enemies, so you can't have anybody close to you that's the sonically dead area is 15 feet, so they can't cast spells.
So our plan was we got a bag and we take it and we put it in the middle of the desert somewhere where it can't hurt anybody. And I'm basically that bag. And then I can just yak it up when we get to where we're going. And we can tell everyone, hey, everyone in the monastery died. And this is safe to go there again now. But, and then we won't tell them where the relic is in the desert.
That's true. Would it want to be yacked up, though?
I whisper some Happy Together song tune to the stone, and I try to get its intention on if it would like to be alone in the stillness of the desert or not.
Even though it's useless, give me a will save.
Those are 2.
Okay, you're fine. It wants to eat silence. It wants you to take it where there is noise because it wants to eat, or not eat silence. It wants stillness and silence. So, but it wants to cause that. So if you take it with you, there will probably be long-term effects from it.
I could leave it in a roaring canyon where there's constantly wind sound. And you could eat the wind sound. Forever. You guys ever been in the desert in one of those misshapen rock structures that constantly whistles? It's kind of annoying.
That's true.
Okay.
As long as there won't be any innocent bystanders that come wandering, because people are going to be like, oh, did you know that this canyon has gone silent for a mysterious reason? Let's go find out. There are going to be people who go and try and find out,
Yeah. We'll leave a note. We've got that paper. Still got a piece of paper.
Because everybody listens to directions, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we can bury it or build a cairn over it or something, right?
Yes. So the plan is we're going to go to a place we're going to wander the desert for. We've got 20 people's worth of food that they don't need.
True.
We can wander the desert for a while. I yak it up. We put a cairn around it, and we spell out some notes with rocks. We'll eat you if uncovered.
You guys noticed that the Dust Warden has collapsed into ash. And you do feel the mesa shuddering.
Oh
no.
Shoot, let's get out of here.
I climb up Newson.
Yeah, same.
The walls are starting to crack. The floor is starting to crack. The dust is pluming around you, so it's a little difficult to see.
Okay, Newson heads back the way they came as quickly as they can, carrying their two companions.
Make me a dex and a strength save again.
So, I rolled dead on for the strength. I rolled 17, but I unfortunately rolled 19 for my dex save. So I actually failed my dex save, even though I've got very high dex.
Okay. While you're running out of this inner cloister, perhaps don't have time to use your webbed feet. So you're running across this path of stones that we're not using the correct steps. So there is going to be a giant bell that's going to fall from the ceiling. We'll go with a bell and crash through. I need everybody to take, 1d8 of damage.
Oh boy.
Roll. Everyone is taking 5 damage.
Down to 10 hit points. We're Indiana Jonesing our way out of this place, surviving.
It is collapsing around you. Okay, make me another dex save as you get into the Ember Garden.
I rolled an 18, so I failed again.
Really? Oh no.
I only have 10 hit points left.
Oh gosh. The wind has kicked up in here, and all of those skeletal plants that have been pushed into char and ash are now filling up your lungs. Everyone is going to take a d6 from that.
Oh no.
That is 3 points of damage.
I'm down to 7.
Man, it is a good thing we were rolling well before this.
Yeah. Okay. And now you are making your way through the... Oh, you went through the reflection alcove. Now you're in the Ember Garden. Okay. Now you are in the final Hall of Breath where all of the monks were. And you notice that all of their ash is gone now. But their robes are still there, neatly piled up. Give me another strength and another dex save. Also, you two give me strength saves because you're trying to hold on. And this place is coming down around your ears.
14 on a 16 strength.
Oh, I failed.
Okay, so you passed. Newsom, what'd you get?
So I made my strength, but I failed my dex save again. I rolled another 18.
Oh my gosh.
So, my thought here is that all of you are still together. He's still holding on to you because he didn't drop the strength. So that's why you're taking the damage together. Unfortunately, you keep your hold on Hefty, but Hefty loses her hold on you. So she's dangling on you, scrabbling for purchase.
Oh, you've got me by that long tail, and it's really painful for me.
It's really uncomfortable. So you're going to take a d4 damage for your tail pain, and that's 4.
I'm down to 3 hit points.
Oh, no.
It's a very uncomfortable retreat.
It's very uncomfortable. And for the
0 hit points is not the end in this system, right?
No, it's not the end. Yes. When you get down to 0, you just need to do a short rest or something like that. Let's see. Okay, so you guys are out of the Hall of Breath, and you are now on the path down. You can see that the Hollow Mesa has collapsed inside.
I want to leave the remaining robes, so I don't take them with me, because I still want to obey the rules of the monastery, so I don't want to steal them.
That's nice. Okay, good. Also, Mrs. Planchet and Gus are out of the Hollow Mesa already. They're down in the desert waiting for you guys because they didn't want to be there anymore. It was creepy without you. Okay, everybody roll me dex saves to get down the stairs, I guess.
I'm just going to fly.
Okay, that's totally fair.
I mean, I can keep hold of the puppet, right?
Oh, yeah, who's holding the puppet?
It should be tied
I'll
to
take the puppet with me.
Newson.
Yeah, tied to me.
Can you also tie Hefty to Newson?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, Newson, it's up to you.
Because Hefty's looking a little worse for wear, I guess, right?
I have 3 hit points and my dex is 8, so...
Well, I couldn't fail however many it was, 5 for dex saves in a row. I managed to roll an 8 this time instead of an 18, so I succeeded at last.
Yay!
Yay.
You successfully navigate you and Hefty and Belle's puppet down the steps, and I assume you go and meet up with Mrs. Pratchett and Gus as the entire mesa collapses in on itself and becomes a part of the surrounding desert. And you have successfully, and now Hefty has a relic inside of her.
Yeah, I'm going to find a good place to vomit it up.
Okay.
Do possums vomit?
I'm sure they must be able to regurgitate. That would seem like an essential skill for a possum.
Yes, possums can vomit, and they actually often do when they are self-defending, like a defense mechanism.
Awesome.
Yes.
So you would like to find a place to go vomit it up and then leave a note with it saying, don't move this?
Yeah.
It needs to be somewhere noisy, right? Somewhere where there's continuous noise to sate the desire of the relic.
We could take it to the ocean and put it in a cliffside, like cave, where it'll always hear the crashing of waves.
That's a great idea.
There
I
will
think
be a
that's a good
strange area of the ocean where no one hears anything.
Yeah, so like
For some reason.
100-foot cliff, and if you're 40 feet up in the air, you'll notice a dead patch of 15 feet.
Which Newson could do with his webbed feet.
Yeah, it's like an anti-mermaid.
Anti-siren, yes. I love how I made this as a desert encounter so that Newson could have something different from the 3 adventures of water, and yet you still have ended up at the ocean. So, thank you. But I think that's a perfect plan. Is that what you all would like to do?
Yeah.
Yes, I still think we should build a cairn around it, and a note maybe is not ideal, but some sort of like warning sign, right? Just in case anyone does ever happen to end up in this remote cave by the sea. There must be like, signs that people will understand, like a big red skull and crossbones or something, I'm trying to think of something that indicates, danger, do not touch in the culture of the local populace.
Okay. You could find a cliffside with like a sea cave inside on the side of it, and Hefty can regurgitate the relic, and you notice immediately it starts to absorb the sound around it. It gets very quiet in the cave. It's not immediate, but it is happening. And you build a cairn around it, and then Hefty really liked giving up her blood, so maybe you paint a warning sign in her blood on the side of the cave.
Oh my goodness. Ow.
And leave the relic of the ninth silence to sit in the ocean, slowly eating the ocean sounds, potentially never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Could be another chapter in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted, when we were leaving, I also wanted to stop off and tell Hobson that he doesn't need to supply the monks with food anymore.
He'll say, we heard the mesa fall down from all the way over here. We were worried that something had happened to y'all, but we're real glad y'all made it out all right. And it's a damn shame about those monks, but, that's what religion will do to you, I guess. And he'll say thank you for doing that. And when you return back to the Fire-Breathing Kittens Hall, the silent pilgrim is not there anymore. The monk is no longer there, obviously. But there is a pile of ash and sand on the bar. And the words, thank you, are traced into it by someone's finger. And there are also some items waiting for you, some gifts scattered in the sand itself. First, there's a newspaper that looks very familiar to Hefty.
No.
Yes. There is also a note with an address to Lorella Mystery's home for Newson. And there's a piece of arcana for Belle. It's this really small braided wire. It's a circlet that looks like it would perfectly rest on the crown of a bird. And it's called the Hollow Halo. And if you would like to try a will check to see if you, or a will save to see if you can identify it.
Sure. 9 on a 12.
Awesome. Okay. So the Hollow Halo stabilizes Belle's soul across 2 vessels, which would be your bird form and the puppet. Once per long rest, you can fully project your consciousness and magic into the linked vessel for 1 hour. And during that time, you can cast spells, speak, take physical actions through the vessel as if it were your true body. So it's you inside of it. And you can also... what was I going to say? Oh, if the vessel is destroyed, you return back to your body. But otherwise, you can just rebuild another vessel and you can keep the circlet and do the same thing.
Yay.
Yay. So it kind of anchors you to it.
That is nice.
Yay. And that has been our game today. That was Into the Odd. Hopefully it was entertaining for you. I had a really fun time writing it, and hopefully it was a good game. So thank you. I've been the GM, and with me has been Hefty. And Belle.
Thank you.
And Newson.
Farewell for now.
Yay. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.